Is the Limbussy. There you are. Content. Who's this fuck? He looks like a mix of, like, an Italian gangster and someone that shops at Hot Topic.
I mean, people have been theorizing it's Lowell.
It's who?
Lowell.
오늘도 바쁜
Zoe's
하루였어.
husband.
여기저기 돌아다니느라 발에
Oh,
So that's just because the hair.
내일도 모레도 놀러 나가면 좋을 것 같은데.
Limbussy. Welcome back. It's been like, what, 2 months since Time Killing Time?
Make sure to give me eyes.
Yeah. Because, well, we're going to start this off by a side thing. Where is there? God, do I even have the thread?
의뢰 목표를 처리했습니다. 이번 원정 의뢰도 철저히 준비한 보람이었군요.
Guess what, everybody? Faust is fucking invincible. Several noises are present at this child's desks. Sound of fingers tapping on a keyboard and a pen tip scratching against the paper amongst them. A fixer, armed with prosthetics, nervously approaches the child and prevents a set of documents before her. The child took them with one hand, barely paying attention to the fixer. Your budget proposal has been reviewed, but several points of necessary adjustments have also been identified. Yes, ma'am! Fixer shuddered a little, dreading her next words. While this child was generally of a gentle disposition, she was very, very strict when it came to documents and numbers. It barely mattered how many times the office employees reviewed, proofread, and meticulously checked every little detail of their reports for typos and miscalculations. They could never stand proudly in front of this perfectionist child as they present their reports to her. And just as the fixture is dreaded, the child stops and loads up numerous data graphics on her monitor, even before moving past the first few pages. It feels necessary to note that the purposes of this contract expedition extend beyond the contract itself, and a part of it is to expand the office's partnership via business meetings with T-Corp, and the others to attend... Oh, 1 second.
It's fine. It's fine. We just get to listen to Faust typing ASMR this whole time. It'll be great.
Okay, sorry about that. Where did I leave off on? Part of it is to expand the officer's partnership via business meetings with T-Corp, and the other is to attend inventors conferences to establish partnerships with new trading workshops. Yes, actually I did take that into account when setting our budget. I made sure to prepare more than enough funds to... oh god, that's a lot of text. It appears that each participant in this expedition is universally assigned a 24-hour day budget. However, each participant must be assigned hours specifically tailored towards their roles in the expedition. Blah, blah. Whoa, that's a lot of text. Please note that we will be meeting with workshops of varying wealth brackets, some located within nests, some in back streets. Isn't Earl King after this banner? Oh, maybe I should have saved that fucking triple lot.
Oh well.
Research the average daily hours of T-Corp, upper class, back street inventors. Research the average daily hours for T-Corp, upper class, and backstreet inventors. Oh, and you neglected to include a list of workshops that the offices seek to visit. The fixer froze in place. If it weren't for his prosthetic eye, he would have been constantly squeezing his eyes shut, cringing at each point of criticism she made. Most of the office's contacts have been with P-Corp, so your ignorance of T-Corp's idiosyncrasies is understandable and expected. What's impressive is Faust's knowledge, which lies far beyond the average metric. The child barely glances at the fixer before saying some very unreassuring words of reassurance. But she also pointed a part of the document complimenting his work. It was her own way of giving him a carrot after the series of sticks she beat him with. Using the warp train is an acceptable suggestion, however. Set apart a week of our schedule and contact the Seven Association to conduct on-site surveys. Do not forget to verify that information yourself, of course. Just as the fixer was about to respond, she motioned to stop. And after a long contemplation, she began... Expand the warp train budget. Ma'am, that budget is more than enough. W is running a promotion for economy class tickets, so... That would normally be the case indeed, however. The child gazes into the air for a moment before closing her eyes to think. She does that often when she's trying to understand something that's not so easily understood. I may be traveling in a first-class seat instead. Seriously? The child looked away from the documents at the fixer's overreaction. She glared at him, her eyebrows lowered, with a look of perplexed disdain. Is there a problem? No, it's just unexpected. I just thought you would consider a first-class seat a waste of money. Like, what's the use of all that luxury and the immense budget if you only get to enjoy it for like 10 seconds? That's horribly inefficient. On that, I do agree. However... Oh, well, it is how it is. I do not quite understand what is it
Gesellschaft.
It is hard to
Gesellschaft.
Gesellschaft is thinking. Shaft? Are you feeling shafted by something, boss? No, it's nothing. In any case, update the proposal as per my request and place it on my desk by tomorrow morning. If you believe that is too much workload for you to handle in a day, wake up Mr. Heathcliff from his workday nap and ask him to assist you in proofreading the document. Heathcliff, wake up! Yeah, what? And please tell him to get himself a coffee cuppy or any substance of that like that from the break room. Yes, ma'am. As the fixer dragged the sleepy child to the break room, this child rose from her own seat and slowly walked towards the windows. Past the full glass window is a view of numerous tall buildings, emblematic of the northern architecture. On the streets are people, so far and so small, almost ant-like in the child's eyes, busily walking through their daily lives. The child sips her coffee as she reviews the adjusted plan, taking in the view, so that she could perfect the plan even further, using Faust's knowledge. And the meticulously crafted plan began paying off almost as soon as the contact began in earnest. How's that arm still intact? We hit him with explosives! We have been informed that T-Corp backstreet syndicates often make use of inventors of more explosive variety. Model 403Y, specifically crafted to withstand high levels of heat and shock, was indeed a good choice of gear. The child's prosthetic eye had already finished mapping out the interior of the dark warehouse. I'd like Faust's design more if it wasn't like 3 different quadrants.
Yeah, I see it as a howdy.
Howdy. Just as she identified the trajectory to the bomb and where it flew from, she rushed forward and casually slung the 2 great swords attached to her prosthetic arms. And in a slash, their supposed leader's head was separated from his body. The henchmen began charging towards her, and the prosthetic fixers with swords and spears, but it was all a useless struggle. Whether they managed to break their arms, the fixers would simply replace them with new ones. Let us move a little faster. We have a business meeting scheduled in 2 hours. It wasn't long before every single one of the syndicate's henchmen were on the ground. However, the child did not spend a moment to celebrate, and instead walked towards one of the doors of the massive warehouse that the syndicate was guarding. A lamp that returns color. I have not seen one this bright and large. Now the impressive magnitude of the contract sum seems more reasonable. Just as soon as the doors swing open, the sepia tone room immediately begins filling with brightly varied colors. The spectacular scene was enough to catch the attention of other fixers as well, who were finishing off the remaining syndicate henchmen. This thing is massive! I don't know if we have the collective horsepower to... Oi, boss lady? We really ought to deliver this ourselves. Of course not. Deviat's Association has already been contacted and informed that we would like them to deliver this item to our client. When the hell did... never mind. Huh? The scuffle wasn't as exciting as I thought it'd be. Right? I thought we'd struggle because we're all out of our elements here in T-Corp. A grin of nigh unnoticeable slight arc appears on her lips as she proudly crosses her arms together. The office fixer's response was that of unmitigated respect. This can all be attributed to Faust's meticulous and flawless plans that eliminates all uncertainties and variables. Your contributions were also of some help, however minuscule they might be. Jeez, Faust! What the fuck? She did not forget to impart a few words of encouragement, fashioned in her own unique way of delivering them. We gave Faust the motor mouth perk as a joke. Also,
Gesellschaft. A rationally developed mechanistic type of social relationship characterized by impersonally contracted associations between persons.
Interesting. Howdy Wang, on this day 20 years ago, a famous rock band attempted to dump 800 pounds of poop from their tour bus into the river in my city. They failed to account for a passing tourist cruise ship. Oh man, what the hell? Also, this might be a replacement for, Elfaust, because she perfectly is tailored to do Fluid Sac.
Yeah, El Remnant Faust.
Yeah. Though if I
Well,
remember right,
Fluid Sac is for Gloom, so.
But also Telepole is in that slot too.
Unfortunately, Telepole is in Fluid Sac.
Is Telepole even good?
I think the passive is good for you.
It's good for this one, yeah, but like...
But it's only kinda, because ironically, I think Sundowner Faust wants to be spending her charge.
Yeah, she doesn't want to hold it, does she?
She wants to get her engine running.
Oh, I do have enough. Radical. Hello, Arizona. How's it going? Is that a Tuhu?
Yes, I believe that is that is Momiji. That's cute, Momiji, Arizona.
오늘도 바쁜 하루였어. 여기저기 돌아다니느라 발에 불 날 뻔했지 뭐야.
It is time. It is time for a train again. It's been 3 years since Ruina, and we have to come back apparently. Also,
You can never escape the warp train.
I'm gonna boost Limbus a little bit, because I think I may have been a little aggressive with tuning its volumes.
Oh yeah.
I still have not started this, so I gotta start it now.
UI element, your boy Heathcliff.
Your boy.
Heathcliff is very good.
400 thread. Also, I'm gonna need these back because I gotta rebate the fucking tickets I spent on Faust.
Yeah, well, I would say Heathcliff is a very good choice.
Charge. I'm glad they learned their lesson with Ryoshu and then just allowed you to just, like, gut yourself for more charge. Oh, right, he has a unique mechanic. When this unit is hit, the attacker gains charge count. But what does that happen? What happens if the opponent gets charge?
No, you're inflicting photoelectricity, and then you hit them, and you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh wow, this Heath is gonna be fucking vital. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my charge team.
Yeah. Goodbye, Artcliff. Multi-crack Cliff is now my favorite Heathcliff for charge, at least.
Joke's on you, Arizona. I'm one of like 5 secret Alephes. First class. I do like this Faust because it combines Faust and also Robot Wife. Alright, how did this happen? First, we boarded the warp train to get to our next destination, P-Corp. Got into our fancy first-class flash-freeze hibernation capsules, and we were supposed to arrive at P-Corp after a blink of an eye, but... Dante, please respond. There's... The first thing I saw in my vision was the perplexed look on Faust, who had entered hibernation at the same time I did. Then I realized that we woke up mid-transit on the warp train, which could only mean now we're stranded in some lost, unknown dimension. It's been a while since the last chapter. Did the team freak out that we're taking a warp train?
Go ahead and see.
Dante, I understand your considerable degree of disorientation, but... What the hell happened? For First things first, let's rewind to the very start of this highly unfavorable situation we find ourselves in. A few days ago, our next destination is to a warp train, Dante.
Not enough gravel. You need to gargle gravel to properly voice Virgilius.
I don't gargle enough gravel or smoke enough cigarettes to get that.
Aww.
What? Yep, that's where it all started. There I was, still perplexed by the incidents at T-Corp when my awful idea of clearing the air by asking Virgilius our next destination, not knowing the storm that my innocent question would bring.
Verily, I must have misheard thee!
Who is this?
Are you turning me down?
I may have been a little over-aggressive with some volume changes. I'm certain you heard me right, Don Quixote. We are now en route to T-Corp, Warp Train Station.
That warp train station must have some conundrum that must be resolved there. Indeed, a quest that must be swiftly addressed at the station, yes?
Did a distortion pop up at warp platform or something? I see that you are now significantly less disinclined to take on side jobs. But no. We are boarding the warp train to get to P-Corp. End of story. There's nothing between the lines, so don't try reading into it. It was only natural that the sinners immediately fell into a state of collective dumbfounded shock. None of the sinners have any history of working at W Corp, but we're actually taking that train. Through what vague information we could gather from the identities, we all have some fragmentary knowledge about the terrible secrets of warp operations. That's fine, Arizona. I think the only people that would not have an idea of what warp is would be Heathcliff, Ishmael, Rhodia, Sinclair at this point, right? Everybody else has a W identity?
Keep reading.
I initially considered hiding this information from the rest of the sinners, but since sharing things with everyone and letting them get their 2 cents in usually ends up being pretty helpful more than not, I've been sharing these more as of late. Though I have very dim, if present at all, recollections from the time during which I wear the identities. It can be determined from the conversational records between the manager and the identities that the mechanisms behind warp operations can be deemed as bizarre and inefficient. Oh yeah, it's that 10-second trip that actually takes a long, long time, right? And when the train reaches the destination, they just wipe the passengers' memories? I also heard that the passengers get so tired and weary after they start literally ripping and tearing into one another. Sounds like I might finally have a chance to see a masterpiece with my own eyes. Even when the sinners wear the identities through my cards, the identities' memories or beliefs don't bleed into them once it's over and done with. That's an interesting thing to know.
And also probably a good thing.
Yeah,
It's a good thing.
yeah. Looking at you,
You don't
Faust.
want the
Looking at you,
end
Ishmael.
price.
Sorry, what were you saying?
I remember when Faust explained that due to the risk associated with embracing such influences, there was a filtering process to intentionally block them from reaching the sinners. That's why the sinners could use the identities of some of our worst enemies without getting infected by their philosophies and whatnot. Also, did someone try to join the Discord? Weird. But it also meant that they couldn't retain any new information that each identity has to offer. That's why I keep a record of some of the things that sound particularly important, and sometimes share it with the rest of the sinners. My voice doesn't really carry well past the window, so some of our communications are one-sided, but I have had an abundance of W Corp identities. This would be a really funny event for a new player to come in on! Just like a new player
I mean, getting to this event and not getting at least one W Corp identity seems statistically improbable.
I forgot that you had to do what is effectively 13 chapters of content. But, maybe ignorance really is bliss. Your alarmed response and possible incompliance have already been accounted for.
Faust, then thou hast known this all along. Wherefore hast thou not deigned to tell me of this?
Faust has indeed known this all along, as no knowledge is outside of Faust's reach. As expected, a solution to your dilemma has already been prepared. Solution. Sorry, weird lisp there. It's funny that when you have WIDs and don't use them. Oh, I have every identity at this point, except for Heathcliff, because, you know. So
I only have a few that I'm missing.
So there's this drive that you want to play with your new toys. I seriously doubt your solution involves not getting on the train, so what is it? The bus. Oh, what about the bus? There's no way this thing will fit inside a train car. Cat on Vitos too. No one to feed Mephi when Cat on gone. Miss Faust. The rearmost tail cars of warp trains are all freight cars. That is where Mephistopheles will be safely fastened and transported. And the LCB will have the benefit of boarding as first-class passengers. The bus begins to swell with noise again, though in a slightly different air to the alarm response from earlier.
Yippee!
First class? What, the seats for those pompous toffs? Even on normal trains, you have the saws whose proudest accomplishment in life is planting their asses in first-class seats, while others are cramming themselves into freight cars because they haven't got the cash for even an economy ticket. Hey, don't look at me! I've never been on a first-class seat before. Isn't the ticket for like a single first-class seat like as expensive as 3 or 4 months' salary of a first-wing year employee? Can our budget really handle that? The company's budget is not as a subject that warrants your concern. I heard first-class passengers get some cool bonus shit like personalized private capsules or something, don't they? That is the promotional language, yes. They are flash-freeze hibernation capsules, to be precise. They have been designed to easily withstand the true amount of time it takes for the warp train to travel from A to B. The trip will be over in the blink of an eye for the passengers. The company's regard for our well-being is unfamiliar yet welcome. To be provided such extravagance merely for our comfort is quite seldom. Right? I thought they were going to slip the guy and Karen into first class and we had to sit in economy. This seems like an unnecessary luxury. They should have saved the budget and given only the executive manager and their loyal advisor access to the seats. I'm impressed that with every chapter, every event, every minor thing, Otis continues to make me hate her.
No, Otis, your nose is looking a little brown there.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're taking the train to get to our next mission, alright? We have to think about the unique nature of warp trains and prepare ourselves accordingly. Right? I know it's first class and all, but warp trains are just creepy. I know you'd also be worried about... For example, economy passengers are going to have a hard time getting into a first class car. If they can even attempt to open it, I mean. I'm pretty sure the door separating the cars is ironclad. Ishmael, who's been holding that first class promotional pamphlet in her hands for a while, was chattering on with fire in her eyes. We won't even have to lift a finger. We just have to board the train, get into our capsules, shut our eyes, and snooze through the entire ride until that mess and the other cars blow over. I heard they have to give out commemorative merch back when their finances were in the gutter, and... Oh...
A true adventure is not without its hardships, yet even the most exalted of heroes cannot venture without respite. And in very rare occasions, the hero may even deign to select a first-class seat to rest in place of a quaint indeed.
How many pamphlets do they have on the bus? LCB is really good about getting you the proper documentation.
I don't think that's Ish going full Dawn. I think that's Ish going full Ish.
That's Ishmael going, oh thank God, I could rest for like 5 minutes.
Well, it's going to be for 5 million years, but...
Seems like everyone is at least somewhat interested in the fabled first-class seats of warp trains. I could sense that there was a glowing consensus among the sinners that even a warp train trip might be acceptable if it means that they could ride in the first-class seats. I will board the train if I must. Is first-class mandatory? I prefer the scenic route. Don't want to miss out on all the fun.
Oh my god, Ryoshu.
Virgilius pretending to not hear Ryoshu. Very well. Then I assume we're all in agreement. Let's go.
I've a matter of great import to discuss with thee.
What is it? Out with it, lass. Beating around a bush ain't like you. Don Quixote carefully began, almost whispering in a low voice.
That is, in the first class seats. I have heard tell that we must board with our feet freed from our boots. Doth that claim hold water?
What? Dude, Ryoshu's great. Oh, come on now. What kind of nonsense gossip is this coming from this time?
'Tis no gossip, forsooth. I have overheard aught from those we have walked past here today, and when one of them inquired, "You know that you've got to go, but give it barefoot in first class, right?" The other responded with, "Of course, man. What am I, stupid?"
So glad the team is letting her be comfy enough to use her acronyms or speak on full-on, depending on what's funnier. I mean, we just understand at this point. We have been through 8? Let's say 8 life-threatening experiences so far. The team knows each other at this point.
Doth the traveler speak true, Ishmael?
Don't ask me. I've never been on one of these either. I don't remember seeing anything like that on the pamphlet. Give me a second.
I mustn't be separated from Rocinante, not even for a twinkle. I shan't toss Rocinante to the side next to such vulgarities like the ugly shoes of Sir Heathcliff.
Oh yeah, it is Nante. Oi, you little...
I was corrected on the pronunciation earlier. I implore thee, O illustrious red gaze, prithee grant me thy permission and allow me to board with Rocinante.
I always thought it was Rociante because that's what I hear when she uses her ego.
I was corrected on the pronunciation, so...
I expected Virgilius to answer with his usual exasperated rebuff, but this time he responded in a somewhat serious, if tainted by that familiar annoyance, tone. Fine. Keep the shoes on. What a weird thing to say.
Dawn is very attached to her shoes.
Dawn looks at her lover. The shoes stay on!
I wouldn't have it any other way.
This place is huge. That was my first impression of the warp train station.
Oh, so this is...
Don Quixote shouted vibrantly, immediately recovered from her previous apprehension of the sheer possibility that she might be separated by Rocinante. So each nest has one of these massive structures in them? I got nothing. Oi, know anything about what they're asking? Heathcliff asked, gesturing towards Merceau with his chin. Every warp train station has been built with a general design philosophy that draws from their respective nests' architectural idiosyncrasies. It could also be said that many critics in relevant fields praise the warp train station as one of the many cultural cornerstones of the city. I have no idea when it happened, but Heathcliff started treating Merceau like a walking encyclopedia from time to time.
Merceau, young Merceau.
I'm like 34, ma'am.
Lo, is that passenger over yonder one from the west?
Incorrect. Leather-based clothing and metal armor are predominant fashion trends and often visible in the outskirts of the western population. While that individual's cloth-based style is something ubiquitously observed throughout the population of North and South, they are largely considered to be an Eastern fashion trend rarely seen among Western.
Prithee, slow thyself, for I must make a record of thy lectures.
So does Merceau just have like photographic memory and just like reads a book in one evening?
He's just autistic. What wisdom dost thou have to impart regarding the fashion of the northern region? I've once espied in a magazine that they are garbed in loose-fitting outfits, understandably so given the colder climate of the region.
Loose clothes in a cold climate, huh? An opportunity for a first-hand observation stands before you.
Hmm? Oh!
Ugh! 3 seconds of a screaming do it. That's not how you pronounce that. How the fuck do you pronounce that?
Do a.
Do it. Okay, that's what I thought. But my brain really wanted to pronounce that T. One of utter fascination, the other of unmitigated frustration. What the shit? You nearly blew out my eardrums. You're the one to talk. Dude, I got an audible frequency range expansion implanted in my eardrums. Holy shit, man. Now, get the hell out of my way. You're blocking the walkway like a ragbag bandit Hicks who's never seen a warp train before. Damn it, I tricked the train all the way here for an expedition only to lose my target, and now these assholes are blowing out my eardrums. Great. Great. I love this. Guys, is it that obvious we haven't been on a warp train before? And the ticket fee came straight out of my damn pocket. Whoa, watch out, big fella. Someone might get seriously hurt if you keep swinging those forearms around. You told him a weapon to boot.
Prithee, wilt thou stand still for but a moment to satisfy a few inquiries of mine regarding thy outfit? Ooh, yes, yes. Stand in absolute stillness for 5 minutes, and I...
Seriously? The fixer, with a particularly impressive set of prosthetic arms, spent a few minutes venting several of his numerous grievances at us before stomping off in a different direction.
Ah, indeed. 'Tis grand, this city of sundry odd personalities.
Present company included.
What dost thou mean?
I'm pretty sure he was thinking the same thing.
What dost thou mean?
I guess the city really is full of people with full bodies. That's when Virgilia slowly walked up to the group. Well then, we'll rendezvous at the destination.
Huh? Whilst the illustrious Red Gaze not ride alongside us?
W Corp policy demands that those with the title of Color must board a train specifically prepared for them instead. Ooh, are you like riding first class plus? That's a color for you, I guess. Special treatment from the wings no matter where he goes. Charon wants to go back to Mephi. I already told you why you can't, Charon, on 3 separate occasions which I brought you those multi-flavored candies. Humans are not allowed aboard the freight cars. Then, Miss Faust? Yes. Virgilius, after exchanging a knowing look and nod with Faust, escorted that particularly peeved Charon away. Dante, let us proceed this way. He followed Faust. Oh, I know exactly why this train's gonna fuck up. Damn. Whoa. Hey, our colors are coming back.
Ooh.
Hey, these must be the fabled complimentary food and drink of the first class seats? Hell yeah, of course. Quality stuff like this has got to be included with that insane pricing. The general response to this room was a surprise at the rows of expensive-looking, sizable capsules. Flash freeze hibernation, huh? I guess it literally freezes our bodies in a flash. Faust, are these devices safe? Please elaborate on safe. These things are supposed to freeze us solid, right? Can we really come back from something like that? A flash freeze hibernation device will put you in a temporary state of death caused by rapid cellular cryopreservation processes. However, the rapidity of the process prevents damage of your cell walls during the phase change. Therefore, in most normal cases, this will not cause any issues. Faust is aware that this model has fully resolved cell wall breaching issues caused by cryogenic density change or by ice crystals' growth of hydrogen molecules. I missed about half of what you just said, but your point is that it's safe, right? Yes, as far as Faust is aware. Even if an issue were to arise during the journey, because everyone will be reverted to their states at the beginning of the train trip upon arrival, there won't be any lasting complications from that said problem. Oh, you got some real talent dragging out something as simple as, yeah, it's safe to so many words. Seriously. Indeed, as Faust's talents are not limited to a singular field. Was she blushing just now? Okay, but that still leaves a lot to be worried about. Hey, there was something odd about the way she phrased that. As far as Faust is aware, are you saying it could be wrong? As a general rule, Faust is an heir. However, Faust is not a divine being. There are certain information in the world that Faust has yet to have access to. Therefore, while Faust may speak the facts, what is said may not always align with the truth. Okay. They don't call it first class for nothing, I guess. P-Corp's way up there in the northernmost corner of the city, but this thing will take us there in the blink of an eye, huh? That's a hell of a time saver.
Hoo-ha! 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 Prepare thyself, Rencinante. Thus begins the long jaunt.
Oh, I've been meaning to ask, Don Don. Do you ever, wash those shoes? Where'd that come from, Rhodia? No, I mean, like, think back to when we were inside the whale. When that whale blew up, we got kind of all sorts of gross, slimy bits on us. They were on our clothes, our shoes, everything. Yeah. And do you remember how much work it took us to clean our bloodied, fishy, fleshy, gunked clothing? This really isn't something I want to revisit, but yeah. Right? Do you also remember how Don Quixote never took off her shoes once during that whole ordeal? Okay, I guess they do look a bit filthy.
I ask thee, dear compatriots, hast thou ever witnessed an errant knight who leaves the side of their beloved steed?
Yes, but they clean the steed Don. Can't say I've ever witnessed a knight before, though.
Then thou shalt know, starting now! Behold it, hearken to it, and remember it well!
They never quiet down, do they? Whoa! Have you been on one of these, Otis? I've been treated to premium VIP seatings of similar grandiosity back then. This is nothing to fuss over. Otis, who was sitting there shaking her legs, suddenly asked Faust a question. Hey, you're confident that no accidents ever occur on one of these first-class cars, yeah? In order to prevent cases of unnecessary anxiety and misgiving among the sinners, the history of accidents that have occurred aboard warp trains will not be shared.
Go play Library of Ruina.
Wait, what the? Oh, I think we're leaving soon.
I love how Otis was like, wait, what the? She was like, wait, just a minute.
She was about to punch Faust.
Yeah.
She
could immediately see within the lines something has happened, and Faust just touched the question.
This is for Warp Train PW612, bound for P-Corp. Boarding period is ending soon. Go on.
I mean, Null Black, the events of Library of Ruina were an accident because the first-class passengers disappeared because they went to the library.
Yeah, remember that the entire incident in Lovetown was engineered by Puppeteer and fucking what's her name? What's her name?
Blood Red Knight, Elena.
Elena, that's it. The sinners, who were either leisurely enjoying their complimentary snacks or taking a look around the first-class car, suddenly became a lot busier. Then let us hurry and enter our capsules before it is too late. Oh no. Why isn't this... The other sinners made it to their capsules no problem, but... I felt like I was the only one who was fumbling. Is it anxiety, Dante? I think so. Initiating warp in 10 minutes. Allow me to assist you. Stand as though you are leaning back and... What? Why is Don Quixote dabbing? Sorry.
She's not dabbing, she's praising the sun.
Faust expertly guided me into the capsules as though she's done something like this before, then pressed a button inside the capsule that closed the hatch. What do we got? We have... Yi-sung looks normal. Faust looks normal. Hong Lu's chilling out. Can't tell who that is. Do not worry too much. We will meet again in but a moment, Dante. I thought I heard a brief sigh, but the hatch shut tightly before I could ask her anything. Initiating warp. Please confirm that your seatbelts are firmly fastened. The last thing I saw before my capsule began to fill with gas was Faust climbing their own capsule opposite of me. I had no idea then what she really meant by "we'll meet again, but in a moment." One thing I knew for sure, that something had seriously gone wrong. Don Y-Posey going, yeehaw, boy howdy.
Letting everybody see her Dons.
This one's called Don, this one's called Quixote. We're here already? Wow, I guess that wasn't an exaggeration at all. It really happened in the blink of an eye. As always, Faust was giving me her usual look, which was a complete lack of any emotive expression. Which I suppose is why I didn't immediately register that something had gone awry. No, we are not yet at our destination. Huh? When I finally came to, and after I had some time to digest that odd reply, I looked up on her face once again, and realized that her expression was a lot more antsy than usual by a microscopically minuscule degree. So we're still running. Yes. Then, where are we? I believe we are currently stranded in an unidentified dimension. Coordinates unknown. I took a reflexive deep breath from the sheer horror of the numerous implications stuffed into that dryly delivered sentence. When that passed, the first thing that struck in my mind was that we were about to suffer the very thing that we were so worried about. I see. But I soon found myself calming down. Yeah, this had to be a part of Faust's plan. She probably saw us coming a mile away. I'm sure she's about to proudly tell me every little detail of her plan that will help us out in this situation. But this is all a part of the plan, right, Faust? That was unusually long period of silence from Faust. You are half correct, but half incorrect. With that, Faust left me to flounder in the chaotic stream of vaguely terrifying information as she began stopping by each capsule to wake the sinners. Oh, we're here already? Man, it really happened in the blink of an... No. Oh, we're already here for real? It really happened in the blink of it? No. Whoa, we're here already? I guess I was really worried for not... No. Oh, no. I haven't uttered a single word.
How are you?
That was good.
There was a brief cheer, a little hurrah, followed by the flat-toned explanation of our current predicament, which was followed by a long, loaded silence, which was a sequence of events I had the pleasure of watching play out about 10 consecutive occasions. Dante, I understand your confusion. However, perhaps an elaboration of our present circumstances is necessary. That's what brings us to the present. Let me get this right. This train is still running. And we're drifting through some unknown dimension.
Aught about that strike me as quite dramatic.
Most importantly, are you saying you already knew this would happen, Faust? Yes. What the hell is wrong with you, huh? Sinners each began to voice in their anger. Of course, this wasn't the first time Faust and Virgilius intentionally and knowingly omitted certain details about events in our path. What, are you insane? It's not like we just retreat or jump out the door when the shit hits the fan. Opening that door will result in near immediate destruction of the physical body. But hey, Val, at least you know what to do like you always do. You got a plan, right? Right? Faust, who I've never seen at a loss for words, was having oddly long instances of silence. What's wrong with the lass? She's real out of it today. She gave me a sideways glance. There must be something she can't discuss in front of the sinners. Guys, let's, pause for a bit. She said that something inconceivable happened. The other sinner's angle was completely understandable, but it also made sense that this continued lack of communication is harming our trust in Faust. Alright, we're gonna go over the situation from the start, okay? I do like that Dante is now taking the lead rather than, you know, panicking the lead. But just letting things play out might really turn everyone against Faust, and for good. And I doubt Faust had any ill intent in waking us up in the middle of a trip. First things first, I gotta get the sinners to calm down. Then I'll ask Faust to tell us what happened. If there's a problem, we'll figure it out and deal with it as we move along. Tell us what's going on, Faust. All of it. In a way that we can all understand, please. Let's hear her out first. Is that alright with you guys? If you say so, I'll go along with it. Fine. Suppose losing my rag rarely ever did anything. Thank you. Then, after some time, the gist of Faust's explanation was as follows. The cause of the issue, as always, involved a certain contract and unilateral decision from the higher-ups. W Corp caught wind of Limbus Company's recent distortion contract management promotions, and decided to contract us to deal with a mysterious, repeated series of incidents suspected to have been caused by a distortion. After multiple failed attempts to resolve it on their own, of course. The distortion themselves did not likely pose a problem for W Corp. Based on the available information, it could be determined that they would have all been neutralized as soon as the train arrived, and any transformed passengers would have been reverted to their human forms. But the real issue was the passengers were disappearing.
Passengers spirited away? Alas, such is an impossibility aboard these trains, is it not?
That is the question from which we must discover the precise cause and effect of. Did W Corp share anything else to us to get us started? That appears to be the most prominent cause of the misunderstanding. She explained that W Corp refused to share anything about the trains because they were concerned about maintaining the secret of the singularity. Maybe that's exactly why they sought out an upstart business like Limbus Company to deal with this, now that I think about it. We wouldn't even known where to start if we didn't have access to the information that the identity cards had to offer. Faust produced what appeared to be a keycard with a W Corp logo on it before continuing with her explanation. However, we were given the master keycard that could open and close the hibernation capsules at will. We may return to our respective capsules as soon as the contract is fulfilled and safely complete the rest of the journey, as we had planned from the beginning. These bloody wings, every single one of them has been absolutely balmy! I think it's a bit unkind of them to ask us to finish the puzzle without the pieces. At least T-Corp, the executive director, tagged along as our assistant, not to mention kindly explained so many new things to us. It sounds like Miss Faust is stuck between a rock and a hard place herself. Some sinners grew more receptive after hearing her explanation, albeit with a sigh. I would have appreciated it if you had at least given us a hint. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but it's not like there's someone out there monitoring your every move and every word, right? That is... But not everyone was willing to let this go without saying their piece. Next time, I will take your inputs into account. That's everything I could do for her. It's an undeniable truth that Faust has disappointed the sinners with what she's done. But she is Faust, after all. I'm sure she has backup plans and backup plans to get us out of here. So what's next on the agenda? Yeah, what's done is done, right? Besides, it's not like we're gonna rot away for thousands of years inside this metal box. That is something I must first discuss with Dante. Discuss? But discuss is something Faust doesn't do. What are we discussing, Faust? I recommend you lower your voice from this point onward, Dante. Why are we whispering? I can whisper? I have volume control? Her secretive attitude only served to exacerbate my already battered sense of safety. My connection to Faust has been severed. I'm sorry, what? I cannot access Faust's knowledge at the moment. I guess I was absolutely right to be anxious. Wasn't the Gesellschaft the name of the Bonza ship in Mega Man Legends?
Oh, yeah, now that I think of it.
That's really funny. I have lost Wi-Fi, Dante. I cannot reconnect. Okay, so we have like a lot of new toys to play with, and I don't know what to do here.
From what I recall, Multicrack, Office, Faust, and Wotus are both very, very good.
They are, but here's the slight problem. Because of the fact that they are a class that uses currency and they want to ramp up to it ASAP, every W identity, and coincidentally, Ishmael, all have the slot 1 problem.
I would say give it to Faust.
She is the new toy.
준비는 완료.
각 정리요원은 위치로.
출발합니다.
You should probably unselect Heathcliff.
How did that happen?
Good question.
준비는 완료.
각 정리요원은 위치로. 곧 열차 정리가 시작된다.
출발합니다.
준비.
마침내 현장 투입.
Oh right, I have to choose backup.
It's fine, just don't lose anyone.
몸이 좀
내가 필요해.
흔들어봐. 제 차례. 형님과 누님들을 위해.
정리 시간이다.
What do you mean you can't? I mean, in the most literal sense. My access to Faust's input and information, which has always been readily available, is completely severed. I leveled Jeff Sinclair to level 30 for like the brief moment in the release of the game when he was considered good. Briefest of moments. Oh. What if everything about the situation is something you don't have access to yet, like what you said last time? One cannot completely dismiss that possibility, but even that is uncertain. Every answer Faust has given me was always full of confidence and methodical expertise. I don't think she's ever said a sentence that was full of this speculation and doubt. Then, Faust, you are... Yes, at the moment I am limited to only operating with my knowledge. I cannot discern the cause of the disconnect. More than enough precautions had likely been taken in case of interdimensional travel, but perhaps Faust did not take into account on an occasion in which we may have to access an unidentified dimension such as this. Or even if that was taken into account, this particular dimension may not have been the subject to cross-observation. If that's the case, then No, never mind. There was nothing to suggest that my connection to Faust would be lost, not even as we boarded the train. To be honest, this is a rather disagreeable situation for me. Alright. For now. Now that changes everything. I recall the last thing I saw before the hatch on the capsule closed, when Faust told me not to worry too much. Okay. This is just a minor setback. Nothing we can't be right. We got this. I began to mutter like I was trying to convince myself. As the manager, my job is to calm everyone down and set their sights on the future, just as Faust did for me immediately before the hatch closed. If you're right about why you're disconnected, then the problem will solve itself once we're off the train. And if we ever do run out of options, I'll just turn the clock and see what happens. Don't stress yourself out too much. We still got a lot to work with. Your knowledge and my, clock, sinners, and, I could feel my confidence taking a hit with every word that came out of my metaphorical mouth. But that seemed to be enough for Faust. She nodded. Understood. And to the sinners, the fact that we are currently confined to a warp train in operation must be the source of enough stress. I believe that sharing Faust's current state with them would add unnecessary sources of tension. They're going to learn, Faust. Secrets don't exist on this fucking truck. What, so reckon this door ain't gonna do anything? We're not gonna bite it once it opens? How many times do I have to tell you that you're not even strong enough to break this door down? A billion years in this box. Yeah, good idea. So, what now? Do I have to take a searching sweep around each car or something? In the grand scheme of things, yes. Faust cleared the air with a cough before continuing. By a Corp standard timescale, approximately 3 days have passed since our departure. As per the contract between Limbus Company and W Corp, I acquired the master keycard placed inside my capsule and adjusted the hatch settings to automatically open in 3 days. 3 days, huh? I feel like it just blinked, and I guess that's hibernation for you. As you were all informed prior to boarding, there is no way for the economy class passengers to enter the first class car. That is why this place has remained untouched. However, cross-referencing my own deductions... I was about to say delusions! Oh, that would have had a real weird implication. In W Corp's rather fragmentary explanations, I can assume that the situation is currently under progress in the economy class cars. The part where they thrust the shit out of one another, turn their limbs off and all that mess? No, I doubt that. I don't think it gets bad in just 3 days. Besides, that's supposed to be business as usual for W Corp, right? There must be something else out there that's out of the ordinary that they want us to deal with. Precisely. In my opinion, that's...
Oh, hold that thought but a moment.
Just as Faust was about to continue, Don Quixote raised her index finger to her lips and signaled her to be quiet.
Dost thou hear aught as I do? Scratching, nay, rapping. Forsooth, past this gate must be,
Scratching, no, rapping on the cellar door. God, what was that from? I think that was Poe.
Yeah, that was Poe, nevermore.
That's right. As Don Quixote kept listening with her ear to the door, an odd expression of half curiosity and half horror appeared on her face.
It is possible that there must be, Lady Faust?
After that very distressful noise, everybody simultaneously turned their heads to look at Faust, who closed her eyes briefly in thought. Please step aside for a moment, Don Quixote. It would be best if I observed with my own eyes. With that, she produced the master keycard from her pocket and approached the panel installed next to the door. Oh, hang on a minute, you're gonna open the door? I intend to follow your usual flavor of suggestion, Heathcliff. That there are times in which a physical altercation is preferable to detached ruminations. My suggestions? I'm gonna disagree with you there, but what's gotten into you, lass? After all, how could I deduce anything without seeing it myself? After a brief mechanical beep, hideous creature suddenly crashed through the open door and charged wildly in our direction. Wow, 3-day meet already, huh? Craving blood bag passenger. Vampires?
Leave.
Gain 1 bleed every time this unit is hit. Consume 3 bleed to gain coagulated blood. Oh. Using lust would have been a really bad idea, huh?
Yes. Look at its resistances too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Take less damage from bleed rounded down. On hit, the target has bleed, heal 10%. Why are we fighting vampires?
That's a good question.
Who's this? Oh, right, this is Otis. I don't think I've ever used her. I think he's saying he's already in trouble.
먼저 끝내고 돌아오는 친구는 맛있는 거 사줄게.
Why do they remind me of
물론
Nosferatu?
카드로.
That was like the immediate vibe I got. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, they really look like Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. This is Faust's ult, which I think
Yes.
we want to use first before her two.
Yeah, it's weird.
공격 범위 확인.
How much do you think you'll get to ask the voice actor of Faust to say I'm fucking invincible?
터졌군요.
So Multicrack Faust, her skill 3 is the one where you want to use first to gain all of your charge, and your 2 is where you dump all of it for damage.
Yeah, I was looking at that on the notes.
출력 태극치.
Especially because her 3 inflicts envy ability.
시원한걸.
Like that.
Oh, cool.
금방 끝내고 버스로 돌아갈 수 있게.
Also, just a funny thought of in my head. Children are cruel, Dante, and I am very in touch with my inner child. Ha 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 ha.
I believe these things are also envy weak.
Yes, they are. Envy being purple, right?
Purple.
Otis is not there yet. Oh, this is Otis, that's right. I saw the purple and kind of panicked a little.
내가 눈에 새겨주지.
I would play Red Sun over Paradise, but that would get me DMCA'd. Oh, what was that?
Good question.
So we got vampires on the train is what I'm hearing.
제압 완료. 승객 보건 준비.
Man, Warp Otis is kind of cool.
Her
Otis?
her Dimensions Shredder ego is also extremely badass.
It is insane, and I
Yeah.
was not lucky enough to pull it.
It looks really good, and yeah, I don't have it either.
General
Lady
Kino-
Faust.
Go ahead.
Lady Faust, however similar in appearance they may have been to the passengers.
I'm sorry, but like General Kenobi.
Oh my god.
Cough, cough, hack.
Fairly, 'tis as though they were in complete want of sense.
Like people politified by the whale. Don Quixote hesitated until the last minute before raising her weapon to fight them. She hangs her head mournfully. Normally, Faust would have told her more information about those monsters before the fight began, and she would not have been burdened by the sheer thought of bringing harm to the innocent. Faust began searching the area, closely observing various bodies in the general area for information. This is not Lovetown.
It's only been 3 days. It's too soon for Lovetown.
Not only that, Lovetown had been
Yeah.
manipulated by Elena. Lovetown.
I mean, stuff like Lovetown isn't even particularly uncommon for W Corp train.
No, it is
It's the
actually
fact that passengers went missing that's distressing.
yeah. The passengers missing is what it was the issue because Lovetown stuff like that is
They were still
normal
people.
for WPOP.
And also, vampires was not a part of Lovetown,
Like
which is
I don't know if you seen the story for the W Otis. Okay.
yes. I don't know if that has something to do with the vampires off the top of my head.
No. I mean, they mentioned that they were creating a train where they were divided into kingdoms, basically.
Yes, that instance had
Yeah.
like a hierarchy set up.
Yeah, basically stuff like that, like Love Time happens all over the world trains. You're used to it.
However,
They even have a manual for when factions happen.
the big thing of note is that we have seen vampires before, not just in Ruina, in Distortion Detective. I believe what's her name? Moses had encountered one.
If I remember correctly, it was the vampire was like basically running an office or something like that.
Yes. And vampires are extremely rare in the universe, to where across 3 games so far, we've only seen one read up on another in supplementary information. And now we just saw 5.
Nosferatu doesn't really count because it's an abnormality, not a proper blood fiend.
Yeah.
I was referring to Crimson Red, what's her face, and also the book.
Yeah.
Retro Knight?
Yeah. You appear particularly inquisitive today, Miss Faust. Huh? Yeah! Aren't you always the one who has the answers while we're racking our brains trying to come up with something? The sinners were starting to feel that there's something off about Faust. They might even soon realize that there's something wrong with her right now. Don Quixote. They are not dead.
Huh?
Observe closer. The parts are all tethered together to one another by something, are they not?
Oh!
Catch the tell. It appears that the flow of time has ceased in this space. Therefore, it follows that the connections that tether the bodies to life away from death remain intact. To my relief, Faust managed to correctly figure out what was going on like her usual self, even if it took her slightly longer than it usually does. Faust's shift in self-reference. Oh, that was plain as day obvious. I was just waiting for the game to emphasize it. Hey, what'd I say? We got this! Huh? What was that about? Oh, nothing. But I'd forgotten that not all sinners were content with nodding along to whatever information Faust told us. The flow of time is ceased aboard a warp train, is it? Yi-san grew pensive. Seeing that, Faust's lips parted for a moment before closing shut. I was starting to get a good read on her. That was an unmistakable look of regret, no matter how short-lived. Howbeit, would it be not more accurate to muse that the flow of time has decelerated to the point where, to an extra-dimensional observer, it has slowed to a stop? What is your perspective regarding the suggestion? Yes, that is a most rational suggestion, Yi-san. Did Miss Faust get something wrong? Wow, Yi-san, you sure are a time expert, right? Can you summarize it in easier language now that we're talking about it anyway? Oh, gladly, if you'll allow me. Yi-san began to
I like how he likes to explain this.
I mean, we have 3 walking Wikipedias on our team. Of course they like to talk. That was close. To speak in brevity, it could be said that death is not an element aboard this train. And, can you speak with less brevity? To elaborate.
Ah, verily, this one's heart beats still.
Don Quixote lowers her head and listens closely to what appears to be a dismembered torso and shouts with relief. The state is akin to an unassembled jigsaw puzzle, merely immobilized and separated. Ha! People who made this puzzle are stupid. They made it really easy as I just pile the puzzle pieces in the shape of a horse. Though their corpus has been sundered, the concept of death is at a state of, for all intents and purposes, eternal delay aboard the train, existence and continuance of a moratorium. Forced they are to be tethered upon the thinnest yet tenacious thread of life.
I ill understood what hath been said here, and yet they are not dead all the same,
Time to finish that! If their severed parts are all connected, then it can be said that no matter how entangled their bodies become, it is not impossible to eventually gather the parts together to form a single passenger. Thus, naturally, we can determine how and why the profession W Corp cleanup agent has come to be. I see. Because someone will have to categorize and reconstruct the puzzles once the journey is over. It's really baffling to me that a job like this even exists. Ever seen a wing that wasn't baffling in every sense of the word? Still, I mean, I guess that means that as long as the train arrives at the station, they'll all be put back together like nothing happened. It's funny because, like, didn't we posit in Ruina that it wasn't time slowing to a crawl, but rather a save state?
No, it was that they returned the passengers to a safe state based on the shares. The shares
Yeah,
record the data of the
Yeah,
passengers, and
so
then they
go ahead.
they record the data of the passengers in the seats, and then they use that data to reconstruct them.
yeah. Oh, I guess in this state they're able to reconstruct it from the memory because all the parts are there. All right. So the save states are still existing.
Yeah, the save state
Yeah.
is W Corp's real singularity. The thing is that like, so they shove people into the new dimension, and then they have T Corp technology basically slow it down so that it's so slow that they experience like 10 million years in 10 seconds.
The most exquisite suffering.
Yeah, because I guess I don't know if they collect time there or not, but I remember saying that sometimes some passengers might wake up with a few inch taller or the like, because they sometimes do not get all the pieces or get a few pieces extras.
It's a lot more visceral when I have to look at it in person.
Phew. That is quite the auspicious news among ill tidings indeed.
It soon clicked to me what Faust was. That was some effort, trying to do what I was trying to do as I watched Don Quixote sigh with relief. Maybe Faust is trying to cheer Don Quixote up in her own way. The other Faust would not even found it necessary to do something like that. Oh man. Faust is disconnected from the network and has to deal with emotions? This is terrible.
Faust is nice now. What the hell?
Dante. Huh? What's up? Oh, time to whisper, right? Indeed. I intend to collect further intelligence. Well, if there's anything I could tell you. Faust cast a dark gaze towards the chunks of flesh. Her gaze remained fixed upon them as she whispered. Are they distortions or abnormalities? Oh, yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. They weren't human, that's for sure. For them, I feel the same sensation I felt from monsters. Something inexplicable. An unclear sensation or an aura. This Faust is pretty good, and that's probably gonna be the, gonna be her Kanto as the disconnect of, Faust and, Gesellschaft.
She's showing vulnerability for once.
I felt this somewhere before, I'm sure of it. But I couldn't quite pinpoint the source of the sensation. One thing I do know for sure is that the sensation wasn't the same feeling I got from abnormalities, distortion, or even Picatula. If I had to lean one way or another, I'd say they're closer to distortions? Faust doesn't know. That's scary.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't think they're either of those. Is it difficult to be certain at the moment? Again, I'm not sure how I can explain this, but they're very similar to distortions, but different. If you had to ask, then I'm gonna guess Faust doesn't know. Faust may know, but in this moment, I have no way of knowing. I feel like I should apologize for that. There is no need, Dante. Though the information you have provided to me is rather ambiguous, it has helped me deduce something of worth. And collecting intelligence myself and creating deductions based on sparse information is quite... She paused, holding a bloody, slimy chunk of flesh in her hands. Did she just smile to herself with gore in her hands? Ooh, finally, the awakening has begun. Rio's just like, come on, girl, I know you're just like me for real, for real.
I like that. It's so good.
Also, special attention, the currency is, as to what the currency is called.
Civilian Recovery Pack. Please collect and store a single passenger's parts in this pack. No matter how difficult it may be appear to collect those parts, do note that there's a single strand of vein connecting the passenger's parts together. Imagine you're spinning a yarn ball into shape and patiently collecting them one by one. The awakening is coming. As she rubs her greedy little hands. After a round of intelligence gathering from Faust, we open the door to the next cabin, only to be greeted by a loud commotion. It sounds like there's other survivors.
Ah, passengers in danger! Worry not, for I haven't arrived to. Ah!
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Don't come any closer! Who the hell are you guys? A four-armed woman. Oh, wow, that actually is a woman. Okay. Let's just say that PM has a propensity of making me realize, oh, that wasn't the gender I thought it was. She appeared without warning. Faust stumbled a little, inadvertently slapped by the figure's swinging arms as she pushed us away. Right. Like you gave me any warning before practically kicking the door open. You mind moving that huge sword out of our face? It's a bit disconcerting. Threatening? I'm just trying to protect the civilians in the car. Also, is that a bioprosthetic? Must be an old timer, huh? I thought this one had stopped forever ago. Oh, you want to see what this old timer's got left in him?
Aha! Thou art from the north, verily? Thy garb is that of northerners, snow?
I am shocked that someone got under Greg's skin. This really ain't the time, lass. Anyway, looks like we're in the same mess here. Make way for us, yeah? She seemed to be sizing us up for a moment. Nah. How do I trust you? Got any proof you ain't bitten? I ain't gonna let all my effort protecting this place go to waste. Bitten? What the hell are you talking about? Weird, you look completely lost. If you were one of the economy cars, I'm sure you've seen... Hold on. Are y'all from first class? Yeah, we just woke up from our capsules. Yeah, this lady is, Faust. The new Faust identity. Which is a lot more accurate than I gave them credit for. Huh. None of you look very... I mean, aren't first class supposed to be... Well, why did you say so from the get-go? Name's Sasha, multi-crack office rep. With that, she lowered her weapons and allowed us to pass. Have you not left this car for the duration of the ride, Sasha? No, I haven't. We warped over to T-Corp after picking up one of their contracts, but... Geez, can you believe that this train broke down? Shit, is it even broken? I'm not feeling hungry or sleepy at all. It all stinks of some shady bullshit, if you ask me. You could feel all that even with a full prosthetic? Man, how can I live without my favorite hobby? Drifting into a sweet nap after a pleasant meal. So I made sure to get high-quality parts so I could still feel hungry and sleepy. Hasn't something else of note have occurred? You bet your ass something else of note did go down. How distracting. Is it hard for you to speak without being so hyper? I like Sasha a lot. Can't do that, friend. I broke all my prosthetics in a fight, so I'm calibrating a new set. Gotta keep swinging if I want to sync up with the other parts anytime soon. Anyhow, I don't know what the hell's going on, but people started turning into some weird monsters all of a sudden. Haven't got a goddamn clue as to what they are. Don't seem like they can understand us either. Good thing my train car didn't have a lot of those. Just chopped whatever there were to pieces and hauled the civilians to this vacant car. 3201 red colors?
3,200 red colors. 3,202 red colors.
You have decided to protect them, despite the potential risk that they may transform as well.
But of course, 'tis an expected duty of any valorous fixer to stand guard on the front lines against evil to protect the weak.
I gotta say, I like that little struggle in the beginning because it sounded like Don Quixote was trying to, like, get past the other sinners. I've been keeping a close eye on them for the last 3 days, and so far, no transformations. Go past this car and you'll see what hell on earth really means. These monsters are constantly trying to claw their way to the front of the train. So if you ask me again, I wager that some shit went down there after one of the train cars in the back and spread like wildfire until it reached here. I see. That's all I can tell you about the situation. So what's your story? Why'd you rich first-class folks decide to suddenly grace us peasants with your presence? Nothing that's happening there can have made your swanky first-class cars, so what's your business? W Corp has hired us to solve the case. We are,
Fixers!
Indeed. Fixers. Faust wore a look of reluctant acceptance as she affirmed Don Quixote's declaration. Huh? Got every single one of your first-class ticket? Your office must be rolling in dough. Wait a goddamn second. So W knew this would happen. But are you really contracted to a wing? Not sure if I trust you. As you must be well aware yourself, contracts and contract fulfillment are of paramount importance to fixers. With that in mind, please recall that W Corp is one of the most secretive wings of the city. Ah, NDA, huh? Makes sense. Wouldn't want to deal with you either. Anyways, I'm still gonna have to ask for proof that you're actually contracted by W. This is the master key card given to us by W Corp. I believe it could open most doors aboard the train. Faust produced a master key card from her pocket. I guess there isn't any other way for us to prove that we're actually contracted by W Corp. A key card? So you use this to open the path between first class and economy. Let's see, W Corp. Whoa, nice material. Looks like you're telling the truth. Alright, I won't pry. Not like there's any cash for it in it for me either. So I guess you gotta go all the way down there for your job, huh? Yes. The fixers finally got out of our way. Then, with one of her free hands, pointed towards the opposite door. Well, your funeral. Or your victory lap, if you guys are really that good. Lots of luck to y'all.
I thank thee for thy words of courage, Fixer Sasha. I shall trust thee with protection of this fortress. Prithee, protect the innocent in my stead.
Sure, whatever, lady. Big sis, are you a fixer? Are you gonna save us from the monsters?
Oh.
Just as we were about to reach the other end of a car, a little passenger pulled on Don Quixote's coattails. Oh no, you're gonna feed her.
My ego groweth. I forsooth.
Whoa, are you a famous fixer?
Forsooth once again, thou mayest know me as profoundly illustrious fixer.
I saw you in jail like 4 days ago.
Well, that was, it was a misunderstanding, yes.
I want to be a fixer too, just like you. Don't pester the lady. I'm sorry, she's my daughter, and...
Worry not thyself, 'tis no bother at all. Thou must dream of becoming a fixer thyself, little squire.
Don Quixote, you are a bad influence. Affectionate.
I am an amazing influence, what dost thou mean?
It is fortunate that someone like yourself is aboard the train. Your presence ensured the child's survival. What's she talking about all of a sudden? Come on, no need to keep up appearances between people in the same line of work. I'm just here to collect some sweet, sweet emergency contact fees from each and every one of them. Are you two on something or what? I see. I don't think Don Quixote needs to hear what she just said. Didn't know you could be like that, Faust. Be like... what? You knew there was no way that the fixer was actually there to protect them out of goodwill, but you decided to go along with Don Quixote's delusions anyway. Am I right? Good move. I was getting worried about what might happen if she started acting out again. You saw that twinkle in her eyes too, right? Don Quixote's always been energetic, but she's been especially bouncy today. Eyes. Faust strode towards Sasha with a question. I have one last thing to inquire. I'll be 30k per inquiry. That is quite an unsound decision to make for someone who claims to be in the same line of work for us. Have you considered the possibility that, once our contract is successfully completed, we would include references to a particularly cooperative associate office in our report to W? Whoa. You serious? Well then, let me hear it. Were the eyes of the monsters you faced red, by any chance? Sasha paused her swinging arms for a moment upon hearing that question, appearing to either be in thought or trying to recall something, then answered. I don't know. It's a pretty hectic battle in a narrow hallway, so I didn't have the wherewithal to get a good look. Is that something important? Well, for one, my prosthetic eye is red. That passenger over there's got red eyes. Oh, you over there, the lady with the big sword, also red eyes. What, is someone out there paying cash for info and red eyes or something? So, lady with the big red sword, are they referring to us? Because I don't know who could that be.
Ryoshu.
Ah, yeah. Right! Fucking her sword is like as tall as her. No, well, it was a question of no significance. Faust nodded lightly in her direction, then opened the door to the next car. So, funny thing that this is a story about vampires, because I'm immediately thinking of Blood Blockade Battlefield. Vampires in that show are fucking insane. It was just as we feared. The scene that appeared before us looked like it came straight out of Painting of Hell. Ha 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 ha. I see you, translator. Subtlety is for cowards. That's not till like 2 cantos, come on.
A lot of these are going to be fights now. I do think that you can get this done in one sitting.
People reassured me that.
먼저 끝내고 돌아오는 친구는 맛있는 거 사줄게. 물론 회사 카드로.
Not a good hand, honestly.
내가 눈에 새겨줄.
He'll be fine. Always.
I had like a couple, like I had several skill ones, so I was kind of sitting there like, ugh.
내가 응원하는 게 도움이 되긴 하려나? 힘내긴 해보자고.
Whenever Ryoshu gets her less skill, I always panic a little. Cause it sucks.
공격 범위 확인.
They gotta balance out the rest of her kids somehow.
Her voice is different for this identity.
Yeah, it's higher pitched. I still find it funny that multi-crack Faust connected to the Faust cord, and W Faust was just like, buy a first-class ticket. But that's so much fun. Buy a first-class ticket.
Okay, fine. Wow, they just gave me 3 of her purple. That's really funny.
Purple.
I don't have a lot of charge on Otis at the moment. Ryoshi's not even there either.
공격 범위 확인.
제압 완료. 승객 보관 준비.
Oh, this whip is sad.
공격 능력 평가. 양호.
어우, 제대로 꽂혔는데.
Oh, that's just unnecessary.
Time to turn these guys into goo.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
맘.
지금이 기회인 것 같소.
Oh, this is wasteful.
다음은 어디요?
좋다, 좋아. 계속 집중하지.
I mean, we win.
It is a win, but also we don't get to see the cool stuff.
완벽한 한 방. 시원한 걸.
It's funny that Faust is called the Crack Fist because I wanted to see Otis 100 Crack Fist.
엘리트. 나 승진시켜 주시오, 관리자 나리.
Elite.
Painting of Hell.
이게 옳은 선택일까?
Right
먼저
into it.
끝내고 돌아오는 친구는 맛있는 거 사줄게. 물론 회사 카드로.
내가
Oh.
눈에 새겨주지.
Yep, there's my fire alarm.
Computer's on, fire alarm.
카론, 기다리는 거 못해.
No, it's just
100초만
chirping.
기다려줄게.
Low battery.
How's this gonna work? Because I don't think charge operates like Tremor, where you could build it up mid-fight. You kind of have to start with it for it to work.
공격 범위 확인.
Yeah, time killing time was like, even though it was like a murder mystery, it was kind of like a very nice jaunt. This is like hard and heavy.
양호.
어우,
This
제대로
is
꽂혔는데.
apropos for how dire the situation is. Because this is pretty dire.
I can only imagine like people that only played Limbus Company first, seeing this, and we're just in the back like, first time, huh? Oh, the horrors I can show you.
공격 범위 확인.
No, I'm just thinking of a real problem. With me, of where I was.
유효타 좋아. 계속 집중하지.
Man, that was kind of sad there, you saying? Oh, I had that option too last night when I was running through my hard mode. I opted against it since I didn't want to spoil anything.
나이스! 하나 제꼈다.
Man, Dawn still isn't online. That's wild.
Yeah, if she gets shafted with a bunch of skill ones, then she can have a really hard time. She really needs her skill 2 to be able to defend.
시작이 됐어. 출력 최대치.
Nice roll there, Faust.
한 방 먹였어.
I mean, Faust is putting in work,
She is.
but she can't stop a rip. Also, this Otis looks cool.
공간을
She
뭉개려.
just flipped 3 tails, is all.
This Otis is very cool looking. Like, I love the kicks.
Yeah, I'm sad that I don't have her. I wasn't able to get her from the last banner. I only wanted to do a couple pulls because I knew there would be something I wanted on this banner.
I fucking, what's it called? I sharded for her.
Yeah,
Same.
I wound up doing 60 pulls on this banner to get multi-crack because, you know, she's an event ID. And
공격
I
범위
got nothing, so I had to wind up sharding for her anyway.
I think I used my guaranteed 3-star for season 4, and then I
실험적인 한방이었어.
used one 10 pool 3 of Lunacy.
여기까지 다 울리지 않았어?
At least I'm going to have 2 pulls for Girl King, but
Yeah, right. Gotta
at
be.
least I got. Go
Go
ahead. Okay, fine, I'll go
Uh,
ahead. At least I got Otis's new eco.
Oh, that's lucky. I didn't get that.
Yeah. Well, I also got Frog Claire from the banner for some reason. I got 2 egos and nothing else.
야호. 이기는
I
편,
guess I'll take it.
편.
Yeah, I think right now I'm still missing a Fell Bullet Heathcliff and Ripper Otis.
충전 기능 점검.
Yeah, I am perpetually poor in terms of boxes, unfortunately. But
공간을
seeing just how strong Lotus is, man, I'm missing out.
제압 완료. 승객 보관 준비.
I'd say she's about 3rd best compared to Ryoshu and Don Dun.
There's something I wonder about W Otis. How does she get more potency on charge than the others?
That
Like,
is a new thing. That
she.
That is indeed a new thing. I believe it's built into her passive, along with Faust, that they get charged potency. It doesn't specify potency, it just says 1 charge. And, yeah.
Battling in a narrow hallway really takes a lot out of you. Too bad. Making big movements where there's not a lot of room to move around takes more energy than you might think. Especially for people like us who use longer weapons. These enemies weren't much harder than the ones we fought earlier, but it was inevitable that the sheer numbers would eventually wear down the sinners. What are these things, Faust? Yeah, I've been wondering that too. Why are you so tight-lipped all of a sudden? Those entities are... What do you think those entities are? Huh? Did I just ask the same question? Oh no, are you giving us the chance to come up with the answer first? My god, you sinners are fucking idiots. I have almost 17,000 or 1,700. I blew a lot of crates setting up Lust Team. I think
I
I was at like 900 before that, and then I was at 50 until now.
I was gonna say, I remember seeing a video about the characters of Limbus Company and starting saying that they are not idiots, and that it was the weirdest sentence to say to somebody that had played the game because they are the dumbest cast of characters ever.
They are...
I love this merry band of dumbasses.
They are exactly what you think of when you think of a D&D game that you've been in.
They are well-done characters, but well-done idiots is the thing.
Of course, Faust did not confirm nor deny his question, but Sinclair was perfectly capable of interpreting her silence in his own fashion. There were some things I learned after fighting them, I think. These monsters aren't mad at us, nor do they want to attack us. That's not why they're attacking us.
Quite. 'Tis apparent that they hunger for aught, charging at anyone and anything in a desperate quest of it.
Right. That's strange, though. I thought hunger or thirst wasn't a thing aboard these trains. It could be determined from the entity's attack patterns that their offenses were not based on rational thought. The source of this behavior can only be traced back to primal aggressiveness. Huh? Yes, and? Was there anything else? Anything else? Oh yeah, they all had red eyes. Their bodies wreathed in blankets of red. I smelled blood, so that's likely what they're made of. Then it must be that the red was congealed, nay, crystallized blood. Thank you. All your inputs have been very helpful. It was my turn to start whispering. What'd you learn from that? We are in luck, Dante. I have read upon this subject as a tangent while perusing information regarding our next destination, moments before we boarded the train. And while that will be a useful element in resolving this situation, the sinners have also been a very good source of intelligence when it came to categorizing and identifying important evidence. Your advice was correct, Dante. Also, I like this dude that's just like a curtain on the corner here. Just kind of vibing. Doesn't even get to do anything. He's just like, oh, fuck. I'm just here now,
I'm just hanging out. You know, because I'm a curtain.
You mean you know what to do to blow this wide open? Nothing can be said with absolute certainty at the moment. However, this will be a good place for us to start. With that, Faust turned around and faced the rest of the sinners. I will now present to you before you a solution to this predicament. Huh? Is there something else we gotta do other than beating the crap out of whatever's in our way? That will not change, no. However, what I'm about to share with you will give you a better understanding of the purpose behind W Corp's contract, and provide us with the possible means of finding the method with which we may complete it. It is of high likelihood that the entities behind the incidents on this train, and by extension every incident of the same nature, is a blood fiend. Interesting. They don't use vampire, but what's especially interesting is that Blood Blockade Battlefield also takes great use to use the term blood fiend. They don't say vampire.
They also specified blood fiend when it came to Elena.
Oh yeah, you're right.
계획보다 더 일찍 의뢰로 완수했네요. 저와 파우스트의 뛰어난 능력 덕분이지만 여러분의 노력도 나쁘지 않았어요.
Blood fiends. There's more.
Of course there's more.
몸 좀 풀어볼까요?
Right into it. Or not.
Wait, a blood fiend? What's a blood fiend?
A blood fiend? What in the name of the wings is that?
You of all people haven't heard of blood fiends? Oh, you are expert on obscure lore.
Verily, I have not once heard mention of these blood fiends. Perchance I have let a magazine article slip from my memory?
Don Quixote furrowed her black brows, genuinely lost. It's as though the very word sounded alien to her.
Oh no, I'm furrowed.
Huh. I thought they were just monsters in stories to scare children in the night. They're supposed to be afraid of garlic and sunlight, right? Oh, that sounds like a bit different from what I heard. I heard that their fear of garlic and sunlight is just a rumor, and what they're really afraid of is water. Fun fact, if I remember right, Nosferatu in Ruina has a card called Fear of Water.
And part of that is why I'm pretty convinced that Nosferatu is just an abnormality that resembles a blood fiend and not an actual blood fiend.
I've been briefed on the existence of blood fiends in the past when I served as a commanding officer, and I've seen the dregs they command. Actually, no. Really? Though my memory isn't very clear, I'm quite certain that these monsters here do not resemble what I have seen. I've seen one who called himself a blood fiend among the fixers, but the things that blood fiend commanded weren't like these rubber-textured ones. There's something off about this one, the one that didn't spawn these dregs with abandon like this. But aren't you supposed to know this already? Yes, I see that some sinners may have encountered blood fiends in the past. A long-winded explanation seems unnecessary. As many of you stated thus far, the entities we face in this train do not appear to be blood fiends. In a sense, they are dreg-like beings that have failed to become kindred. They are referred to as bloodbag among relevant parties, according to information I am aware of. Not a terrible name. Why would anyone name someone Bloodbag? As has been said prior, it is impossible for passengers to disappear aboard warp trains under normal circumstances. Though our reserve of intelligence regarding warp trains or W Corp is vast, if incomplete, we could not find a possible exception to the above rule. Within that reserve of intelligence, however, I have discovered that inserting a previously unseen variable into the equation allows for a formulation of a new hypothesis. Wait, you're saying that these blood fiends can completely erase people from existence? A more accurate descriptor would be to say that they are either dissolved or vaporized. Dissolved? No matter the degree of violence the passengers may indulge in, no matter how severe the damage may be, warp trains can revert them to their initial states at the beginning of the journey. Among several interpretations of the word violence involves cannibalization, of course. Ooh. However, as the passengers' collective time itself is a moratorium for the duration of the operation, digestion is not a biological process that should be active. In other words, even the devoured passengers can be reconstructed. Huh. If they're merely stuffed into the digestive tract, then I suppose they could gut the passengers to retrieve the chewed up chunks of others and piece them back together. However, such is not true for blood bags. By their nature, they are obsessed with blood. Their existence hinges on supplying themselves with the blood of their victims. And it is said that they must consume a minuscule amount of blood to maintain their forms. Wait, what? Didn't you just say that digestion's not a thing while we're on the train? If I were to continue my deductions, perhaps consumption of blood for blood fiends and blood bags is a fundamentally different process from our consumption of nutrients for energy. To them, blood is a culmination, an entailment of something that forms the self, including but not limited to emotion, ambition, wealth, purpose of existence. Then, it must naturally follow that they spend their blood at will, which is a process that is isolated from other biological processes, such as digestion. Well, I've fallen half of that. You exist in moratoria of a time of the present moment, Heathcliff. Yet your emotions still persist, do they not? Anger, sorrow, and joy, they continue to speak with you. Huh? Well, yeah, I guess. Though we cannot tell whether they may be in a state of alteration, or whether they remain ensnared in the wheel of creation and destruction, it can be said that emotions, once past, exist not in continuation. The passenger's will to persist, the worth of this very existence in which they thrive. Do they not all gently atrophy into non-existence amidst the ceased time? Miss Faust seeks to illustrate the similarity between how emotions are to ourselves and how blood is to blood fiends.
Slight aside here. I find it interesting that this is also going along with what Hubert, I believe it was, said, that emotions drive time.
Interesting. Gotcha. So that's why she said blood is vaporized, huh? If that's the case, then the very blood that's supposed to bind these chunks of flesh together will also evaporate, which means they can't be pieced back together. There's no incongruence in that logic. Everyone is silent for a moment. That was way too much information to process at once. We didn't even know what to make of them either. I would like to ask a few questions, if you would permit me. I would like to ask a few permissions if you would question me.
May I go to the bathroom?
Yisang was first to break the silence. Could it be said that blood bags are direct creations of blood fiends? If such is the case, then by which method do they... That information is inaccessible at the moment. Faust replies, avoiding Yisang's gaze. There isn't anything I could do about this. The sinners will only get more stressed out if they find out. That's something Faust and I both want to avoid. Inaccessible. Ah, yes. Now I recall what he has said in the past. This is only speculation, however. I assume that a form of direct physical contact is needed to turn an individual into a blood bag. If such were not the case, then we, who are likely the greatest obstacle to this entity's goal at the moment, would have been the first to be turned. Indeed.
In that case, that villain of a blood fiend must be hiding out somewhere aboard this train.
I love how chat was chanting blood magic.
Blood magic.
Blood magic, blood magic.
Blood magic, Monsieur Esquire.
Indeed. If we are to believe the words of the fixer from earlier, then there is a high likelihood that the horde is advancing in this direction from the back of the train. In other words, continuing down the cars will lead us straight to the blood fiend. I think
Very well.
Go ahead.
I shan't forsake this opportunity to bring peace to the souls of the innocent passengers who have perished by the villain's hands. Look,
Always have a drink nearby.
Speaking Don Quixote takes a lot of long space, and I don't have a lot of that.
Dante? It seems that Don Quixote was now invigorated. The other sinners now seem to be satisfied now that we have a clear sign of our goal. Faust, who stood amidst them, nodded in my direction. Well then, let's go. We're making the best of what's available to us at the moment. Let's move forward, for now.
오케이. 작전 지역 진입.
Yo-oh!
네, 입감 양호합니다.
I see a Don Quixote. Though they stagger almost... Wait, does the health bar start from the left or right? I think it's the left.
Left. It's fine, just hit them until they fall over.
I was just curious because it looked like they stagger almost immediately if hit.
부상 없이 나오는 게 최고야. 알지?
I do like the fact that they're smoking as if they're overly exhausting their fuel.
I believe they do that whenever they go a turn without actually hitting someone.
Struggling, oh. Does Otis have enough to force a hit? At +2 and 7 to 14. So I think she could pop it still.
공격 범위 확인.
정신은 문이요. 터졌군요.
충격 최대치. 공격 능력 평가. 양호.
공간을 뭉갠다.
승객이 한번 먹겠어.
I like the fact that when Otis completes her attack, she has W sparking out of her fist.
It's pretty fucking cool.
Gotta rep the brand, says Otis.
기능 점검. 단순히 마음.
효율적 처리했습니다.
Good lord, Faust.
And she has turned that man into jelly.
충격 최대치.
완벽한 한 방.
Speaking of being turned into jelly,
터졌군요.
really?
They're not. I don't think they care much for red because they really only weak to purple.
I guess maybe if she flipped heads on that
우리가
last
우세.
one.
서둘러 끝내보자고.
충전 기능 점검. 단순히 접는.
Have people been coming in? Cause like, I'm pretty sure we. Okay, because I was sitting there like, we've killed some before, haven't we?
It's like railroad.
Yeah. Enemies are coming in.
보관 중.
I thought you
I feel
meant
like
the
this
stream.
is probably going to be the norm going forward.
지금이 기회인 것 같소.
유효타.
Oh,
좋아. 계속
they're dead?
집중하지.
Oh yeah, if purple ever comes in, they're fucking mulch.
승리네요.
I mean, yeah, Faust's skill 2 just turns them into fucking putty and spray. For fucking, like, sword shockwaves.
이기는 편, 우리 편.
Well, Yisang's ready to go. So is Otis. Oh wow, Dawn's got another one in her.
효율적으로.
Yeah, that one wasn't as good because Faust had like no charge. What is with the video static?
공간을 뭉갠다.
Not an actual answer.
Nah, I'm good.
승객 보관 준비.
It's not really spoilers.
다음은 어디요?
무엇을 잘못했는지 아는 것부터가 시작이랬어.
It would be very funny if it's the cognition filter, though.
계획보다 더 일찍 의뢰를 완수했네요. 저와 파우스트의
Honestly, I have no idea what it is.
여러분의 노력도 나쁘지 않았어요.
The cleanup agent.
차원 파동 장갑. 충전 완료.
W Corp IDs using skill 3 causes static.
카론, 기다리는 거 못해.
Weird.
100초만 기다려줄게.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I remember now. I think it was part of the WOT's idea story that to release the warp, the skill tree, the warp stuff, can cause some interference with the warp train.
Ah, okay.
Oh, huh.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
Man, that's rough, Faust. We didn't even
Nice dice roll.
we didn't even get energy. Ugh.
Pain.
먼저 끝내고 돌아오는 친구는 맛있는 거 사줄게. 물론
What are you gonna do with that, Faust? You ain't got shit.
It's an, that's an offset, so she has it one-sided.
I guess it's fine to use that then. Barf.
Barf.
전투에 임하겠습니다.
You also undid the block that you were doing.
I decided not to do it because I was gonna take 60 if I used the block, so I figured might as well try for the clash anyway if I'm taking guaranteed damage.
가졌군요.
Well, you won the clash, so good decision.
처리해 볼까요? 인도적인 조치는 필요 없을 거예요.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어. 자, 다음은 어디요?
유효타 좋아. 계속 집중하지.
승객이 따끔 한 방 먹었다.
Pretty insane that Mind Whip isn't even considered impressive anymore.
I know, right? It used to be the dream.
Which one?
Mind Whip.
Mind Whip.
우리 편.
Oh yeah. I mean, Mind Whip is still good, but yeah, it
But
has
like-
been eclipsed.
But you expect it to be good, unlike now where it's like everything is like better.
Power creep.
Game balance.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
공간을 뭉갠다.
It's a bummer that Otis' ult is not really that great here.
I really like how it looks though.
지금이 기회인 것 같아.
처리했습니다.
At least we know
Okay.
Ryoshu works.
와, 엄청난 공격이었어. 기념할 만한 걸.
Oh wow, Otis has 20. How'd that happen?
Go ape shit.
Good question.
공격 범위 확인.
Watch as we accidentally break the fucking time mechanism and we have to endure time out here.
어우, 제대로 꽂힌.
처리했습니다.
I really hope that we're going to get like more reindeer identities or something. Get to
I know,
have, like,
right?
A
Yeah.
chart sinking scene.
Ara's been kind of left in the dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have a full team of R-Corp
완벽한 한
and
방.
have all the rabbits be completely useless after the first few turns.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Watch as the NX3 000 Rabbit ID has
승객
a
보건 중.
recharged bullets mechanic.
제압 완료.
Oh, there's
Oh,
actually
보건 중.
there's actually a an ego gift that gives you bullets back.
Yeah, there is.
There's also the ego fell bullet, but it's Manager Esquire halt! Behold this poor fellow, he lives still!
Don Quixote, her round eyes wide open, began sprinting somewhere. No, stay away from me, you monsters! Hey, man, we're not those monsters. You alright? Huh? An arm! You're trying to mutate too, aren't you? You must be turning into some kind of bug like. Ah! What? No, this is. Gregor stumbled for words before chuckling and casting his gaze towards the floor in disbelief. Yeah, well, no surprise there, I guess. I suppose there's no way to tell right away whether this suppressed arm's a monster or prosthetic or whatnot. It is possible that you are mistaken due to his bioprosthetic being an older, outdated make that is now rarely seen in the city. Oh, prosthetic! That's relief. I thought those crazy bastards were trying to break in again. As you can see, my legs are all messed up. I had no choice but to hide in here. So what are the So what are the W Corp employees doing aboard this train? Huh? You're right. From what we found out about the warp trains through the identities, I can't imagine why any of them would willingly board this train. You're the contact fixers, right? We were ordered to assist you with your contract. I said we, but I'm the only one left. Every single one of my colleagues suddenly began losing their minds in that car over there, and...
This cannot be! Faust, is there truly no way to cure the blood bags?
My apologies. The access to that information is prohibited at this moment as well. Though her voice and expression were both serene as always, there was something gloomy about the way she said it. I may have been too reliant on Faust. She muttered in a barely audible volume. I don't know what I could do to help the sinners in a situation like this either. I'd also grown too used to Faust's omnipresence because I could always trust it to be there for us. I was starting to realize that I don't have the means to consider and make my own decisions at moments like these. No. Maybe I was too reliant on everyone else. When the time comes for them to rely on me, when they can no longer function as they usually do for whatever reason, can I really manage them well? Lead them to the right answers? Doubt, colored with fear, began to rise like a plume of smoke. Well, what can I do, right? Ugh. The agent struggled to some corner of the room with his wounded leg and pulled on a lever. They made good use of this space. And the wall behind what had initially appeared to be a folding chair for employees sprung open.
Ooh, what in the name of the wings is this? Perchance thou hast hidden here a weapon most powerful, a weapon most feared by the blood fiends?
That holds some resemblance to a capsule we saw in first class. But why would that be here? The cleanup agent slumped into the pod that appeared in the wall. Finally.
What is it that thou seekest to do?
W Corp prepared a small hibernation pod for employees in case of emergencies.
Verily, then...
Good luck. With that, he settled into the capsule and shut the hatch behind him. Wait.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
If there's any meat of him outside, that thing is not perfectly sealed, is it?
It will not be.
When the door covering the pod closed, only the folding chair and a wall covered with viscera remained. He's gone! There he goes. He has departed the scene. We blankly stared at the wall the agent disappeared into. Well then, I guess we're gonna. Let's move on to the next car.
So I checked something. In regards to the battles, the static, it only happens on the skill that have a rift, like the causal rift. Because Hong Lu's your skill is not a dimensional rift, it does not cause static.
Yeah. So rip space, deader, rip
정리가
dimension,
예상보다 일찍 끝났다.
Yisang,
Yeah, basically.
I forget the
보고서는
name
내가
of.
작성해 둘 테니 다음 정리 전에 휴식을 취하라.
Basically, anything that causes one of those rifts causes static.
Next car.
이게 옳은
Man, this is a
선택일까?
hell of a grind.
내가 응원하는 게 도움이 되긴 하려나?
I do like how you can see like the reflections of our identities here.
Some of them.
전투에 임하겠습니다.
I don't think there's an. Yeah.
좋아.
What?
얼른 끝내고 밥 먹으러 가자고.
Ryoshu seems like the exact kind of person to get to get her katana custom made.
True, we have not seen a katana yet, but we've seen the double machetes, the axe, and the rake spear?
Yeah, the spear that both
I'd say those
Faust
are.
and, both Faust and Hong Lu use that spear.
Yeah,
so.
Faust and Hong Lu use the same weapon.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
Man, we're getting some bad rolls. Holy shit.
너희 중에 부상 인원이 생긴 것 같은데.
Oh, Otis is
공세에서 벗어날 수
staggered.
있게
Uh-oh.
적의 지위를 분산시켜보죠.
Okay, good. She's not in any danger.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
출력 최대치. 승객이 딱콩 한 방 먹였어.
Why do you still have meat?
정신이 물러 터졌군요.
I do like that this isn't like a fucking grinder either, like, you know,
유효타 좋아.
a drag to fight these guys. They self-damage themselves, they inflict fragile on themselves.
거의 손방망이인데?
We're not like wading through mountains of HP to beat something. They're making it a real fast fight.
와, 엄청난 공격이었어. 기다릴 만한 걸?
적이 있습니다.
방금 건 제대로 한 건 했어. 돌아가면 맥주라도 사야겠는걸?
Is Dawn down already? Yes, she is.
I return.
전투에
Yeah, I was mainly discussing how, like, even though there's a lot of enemies, they don't make it like a real grinder of a mission. Because enemies will damage themselves with their skills, they put vulnerability on themselves. So, like, it's actually, even though it's a lot of shit to, like, chop through, it's actually relatively painless.
다음은 어디요?
좋아. 방금은 전략의 승리야. 계속 밀어붙이자.
Is Otis there? She could be.
전투에 임하겠습니다.
공간을 뭉갠다. 승객 무력 확인.
I'm glad that Faust really is just Sundowner.
기회인 것 같소.
Like, I'm kind of shocked that they didn't give her the scissor arms.
뭐 이해합니다. 그럼 쉬시게.
Or like the kinetic plating, you know?
Shields are Ishmael's thing, though.
생각보다 더 일찍
Yeah, true.
의도를 완수했네요.
Faust
저와
wants
파우스트의
you
뛰어난 능력 덕분이지만
dead.
여러분의 노력도 나쁘지 않았어요.
Next car, too.
빨리 끝내고 밥 먹으러 가자고.
God, now I'm just trying to see if there's like a Southern Belle accent for
먼저 끝내고
Faust.
돌아오는 친구는 맛있는 거 사줄게. 물론
Ugh,
회사
don't
카드로.
like that clash. Oof, all these suck.
내가 눈에 새겨주지.
늦으면 메피랑 먼저
Do
갈
they gain
거야.
charge? They do. Interesting. Oh, this sucks. I think I just have to raw dog her purples.
충전 기능 점검. 단숨에 점검.
효율적으로.
정신이 물러 터졌군요.
효율적으로.
They're still pretty good even without
막
charge.
먹였네. 이 기세를 모아서 뚫어보자고.
Ryoshu is there if I wanted to be saucy Jack, but I don't think I need to.
출력 최대치. 공격 능력 평가.
어우, 제대로 꽂혔는데.
Just imagine Ride into the back looking at Ryoshi like, oh yeah, there's a lot of great ideas here. Shit. I need to update my tech.
아, 옛날 버릇이. 적사살 좋아.
충전 기능 점검. 단숨에 정리한다.
출력 최대치.
완벽한 한방. 시원한 걸.
공간을 뭉갠다. 제압 완료.
유효타
보관 중.
좋아. 계속 집중하지.
Wait, what are those?
Oh, those?
좋아.
Those are new. They were not in the roster a while ago.
Yeah.
Ah, they're blood bag prosthetics. Weak to blunt specifically. Where is this Clash power-up coming from? I've noticed random people have been getting it.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
Yours or theirs? Ah,
Mine.
theirs. Oh, yours.
Yeah,
The
mine.
Clash power up?
Yeah, Ryoshu has one at the moment, I don't know why.
뭘 잘못했는지 아는 것 같아.
I will have to look.
터졌군요.
Is it from load, maybe?
Maybe. I haven't looked at load all that much.
벌써 끝났다. 제압 완료. 승객 보관 준비. 공간을 뭉갠다.
금방 끝내고 버스로 돌아갈 수 있겠다. 그치?
내가 눈에 새겨주지.
처리했습니다.
승객 무력.
I love the sheer, like, raking sound of Faust's swords whenever she swings them.
다음은 어디요?
They're just destroying everything around her.
계획보다 더 일찍 의뢰를 완수했네요. 저와 파우스트
I'm also getting a lot of these extra bonus
여러분의
monies.
노력도 나쁘지
Lucky you.
않았어요.
Prosthetic fixers. Oh, hang on a second. I have to dip into my boxes. What is this?
이게 옳은 선택일까?
Yeah, you have to spend some of your dragon sword. What a
부상 없이
shame.
나오는 게 최고야.
Oh, my dragon horde is not as what it used to be. I used to be at like a cool 300 orbs. Now
Oh, what a shame!
now I'm at 111. This sucks.
I'm just making a jerking off motion with my hand.
충전 기능 점검. 단숨에 정리.
No, these prosthetic guys aren't really fucking around, are they? They're including paralysis.
Yeah.
응원하는 게 도움이 되겠네.
I don't think anybody won their clash, actually.
That's kind of the weakness of a clash team, is that sometimes, like, starting out, you can just get stuffed for your clashes.
공격 범위 확인.
And then sometimes you can do that.
처리해 볼까요? 인도적인 조치는 필요 없을 거예요.
And then Ryoshi can be like, nah, fuck this.
시원한 걸.
Oh, this is. There we go.
Wow, Ishmael. Good fucking save.
유효타 좋아. 계속 집중하지.
출력 최대치. 공격 능력 평가. 양호 처리했습니다.
어우, 제대로 꽂혔는데.
공간을 뭉갠다. 제압 완료.
승객이 딱콩 한 방 먹였어.
Is that a new one? No, that's just a corpse over there, okay. I thought one of them had a sight, and I was like, what the hell? Oh god,
Yes.
you saying it's 13 bleed, what?
It would appear that he did not, in fact, win his clash.
He may have incurred botchamania, as we call it.
전투에 임하겠습니다.
단숨에
좋아. 방금의 전략의 승리야. 계속 밀어붙이자.
Man, some of these rolls on our rip spaces are getting kinda distressing.
승객 무력 확인.
Also, man, this must be a wonder for people with epilepsy. Everything is flashing.
내 피가 배고파했어. 잘 됐다. 그치?
충전 기능 점검. 단숨에 점령. 공간을 뭉갠다. 제압 완료. 승객 보건 중.
야호. 이기는 편, 우리 편.
Well, thankfully, we're nearing the end of this wave.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
승객 무력 확인.
I love how Otis's, like, martial arts is just wild haymakers.
저기 있습니다. 저기 있습니다.
다음은 어디요? 오, 머리 좋다 단테.
Only had to
방금
poke him a
완전
little bit.
좋았어.
Didn't even need to rip the space, just had to poke the space. Something caught the attention from the corner of my eye after another round of brutal combat. Huh? What's this now? We were on the final car adjacent to the freight car when we discovered the odd box with the T-Corp logo on it.
Ah, 'tis the emblem of T-Core.
It appears it was broken in the fierceness of our battle. Didn't that chief executive got Hubert, right? Didn't he offhandedly mention something about partnering with other wings? I guess they were in cahoots with W, too. Such collaborations are not limited to T-Corp. It is oft the case that a wing may work with another. It is only on rare occasions that they urgently request the assistance of less significant, lesser-known corporations such as our own Limbus. Their choice appears to be quite irregular. Oh, we got some prosthetic curtains here, wow. Sounds like W's heydays are long behind them. Just like the wall that's falling apart, really revealing what's behind. Oh, speaking of falling apart, this room sure got messed up, huh? It was difficult for me to ignore how Rhodia hurriedly swerved over to a different subject as though she'd made a mistake. Even the tone of her voice shifted like she was catching herself. The various destroyed prosthetic parts covered in human remains indicate that this train car was boarded by several prosthetic-equipped fixers. I can't think about that right now. Let's deal with the task at hand. Maybe these people are from the same office as that guy we met at the platform, remember? He said he warped over to T-Corp on an expedition. Look! It's almost like they're wearing standardized sets of prosthetics. Same make, same model, everything.
I believe I have read articles stating that certain offices do exclusively hire fixers with prosthetics.
Huh? Wait, he's... We were walking through the bloody train car when we suddenly heard Sinclair's voice crack as though he saw something awful.
Oh, Fi! He is the one we encountered at the platform!
After this, I suggest looking at the main intro art again. This is the fixer who suddenly started venting at us. Yeah, you said something about going to T-Corp on an expedition and failing? You brought a whole train car full of fixers for this? Because calling it an expedition was no exaggeration.
There are over a dozen. There are over a dozen broken arms strewn about. They must have fought valiantly by replacing their broken arms with backup arms, perchance. A strategy indeed.
Someone's gonna have a funny thing in their art that relates to a vampire, I bet.
What?
Oh, somebody in chat mentioned, like, looking at the intro art before, when we're done here. Makes sense. That would explain all the broken prosthetics, arms, and legs. Executive Manager. This is likely an aftermath of a battle between the Fixers and the Blood Bags. There were many similar cases during the war. Those using prosthetics would simply let their bodies be destroyed in battle because it considered them to be disposable, as long as there was cash remaining in their wallets. Of course, the blatant lack of self-preservation often led them to early graves. Maybe that's true. I see. There are more than a single possible interpretation of the same scene. I will remember both your inputs. The art that shows before you click to the Intervalio map. That's a good attitude. Employees with attitudes like yours often make it to the end of the war. Yes, well, good for them. Faust answers Otis in an uncharacteristically snappy manner. Signs of fatigue were creeping into her pensive expression. I like this image that Faustus does not like Otis whatsoever. It's like, yeah, sure, whatever. You alright, Faust? It was rare to see any actual expression from her. I was starting to get worried. I am physically unharmed, yet... yeah, I'm alright. However, I do not enjoy this circumstance with which we find ourselves in. It is as though I am casting nets to nowhere while lost and isolated at sea. I could usually complete these deductions within moments after establishing a few basic cross-references. Her voice was such a whisper for the second part that I could barely hear her. I know what you mean. Feeling like you're completely lost, obsessively casting net over the black, rippleless lake in desperate hopes that one of them might pull in something. No way to tell where we are. No way to tell if there's even anything to eat under that glassy, watery surface, you know? The sense I find mired in is not unlike your own. It's like lying on my back over an unseen grave, where the reflection of radiance upon my eyes and the sanguine scent hanging from the tip of my olfactory tells me not of the forging path. It seems that the first part of the sentence was well heard by Ishmael and Yisong. They walked right up to her and shared a few words of consultation. By the way, I don't ever recall you talking like that, Faust. I don't know what it is, but you feel different from your usual self somehow. That is... No, I don't mean I don't hate it. I'm actually glad to learn you have a softer side. This unseen side of you. It is unfamiliar, but quite fresh. Is that so? Consolation, not consultation. Whoops! Faust's reply was curt. She closed her eyes. As per the information provided by the pamphlet, it is likely that this train is composed of 12 passenger cars and 1 freight. Because we are at the 11th, that leaves a single car between us and the freight car which Mephistopheles has secured. Which means that there is a high likelihood that we will soon encounter the blood fiend responsible for the creation of the blood bags. Just beyond that door, huh? Well, how strong could it be if it's far as this week, huh? There's so many of them, but we practically smashed through the whole horde. A different, more accurate interpretation would be to say that a being capable of commanding a force such as large as the blood bags we have defeated should be considered a high-risk entity. Although this is not common knowledge, there's a subcategory of fixers called blood fiend hunters who specialize in hunting blood fiends. Assuming that information is true, it can be inferred that blood fiends are difficult foes that require certain expertise. Now that I'm thinking about it, if blood bags are like mindless thralls to the blood fiends, then they're kind of like their own private army, right? A being of power who could create a force of their own without concern for lowered morale or desertion. More time or not, they always make for formidable foes. The sinners each exchange various opinions with one another, possible strategies, estimation of the strength, and then all of a sudden,
Why on this indecisive idleness? Our quest is to defeat the villain who hath brought such pain and misery upon this train, is it not? It may be vaporizing the lifeblood of the innocent as we speak. Mighty or feeble, I care not. I swear upon mine honor that I shall smite this foe, and let my hand of justice be the judge of their fate. Let us hasten now.
Somebody is impatient. She's not wrong. Says we gotta deal with the Blood Fiend to complete our contract. With that, I open the door leading to the final car of the train.
계획보다 더 일찍 의뢰를 완수했네요. 저와 파우스트의 뛰어난
New
능력
Dawn face.
덕분이지만 여러분의 노력도
Dawn's
나쁘지
fucking
않았어요.
pissed.
Yeah, huh? We haven't seen her angry, have we? The one who lures repeatable. Also, they show the previous stuff that we've seen before. Also, 12 of 15. Did I miss some?
Nope. I believe you've EX cleared every single one so far.
You will have to see.
45-3 충전. 전투 준비 완료.
This room. What's with that look on your faces?
No, make sure to use the proper language.
Thou standest in the audience of a prince. Where are thy obsequious smiles?
Obsequious.
Obsequious. I've never seen that word, wow. He must be the cause of the outbreak. The blood fiend we must defeat. Fall to thy knees and grovel before royalty.
Obsequious, obedient or attentive to an excessive or servile degree.
Ah, so like Otis.
Yes.
Who the hell are you to make these demands? I shall impart this upon thee only once, so listen well. You may call me Cassetti, Sixth Kindred, a kindred of the 6th generation, the rightful prince and refuge from his family. Man, only 6, huh?
Art thou the villain who hath wrought such destruction and massacre upon this vessel?
Oh, this segment's gonna be real obnoxious. Thou art a chatty one, so rudely before your prince. Yet I am feeling generous, for I am quite sated at the moment. As thou must have seen on thy journey here, this place is a hall of banquet for a feast most majestic. No matter how many blood bags I create, no matter how much I devour them, the humans just won't stop coming. I only enjoy what was cast into my maw. He dons a mask for the purposes of merrymaking. If we're really going to exchange pleasantries, why don't you take the mask off? Do you not even know the basic etiquette? Oh, this mask won't come off. Can't take it off. Shouldn't take it off. There's no prince without a mask. We're so ugly behind the mask. So we all decided to hide how repulsive we've become. But once I've drunk your blood full, then it'll all go back to how it used to be. Only then can I unmask myself. Who stitched that mask to your face skin? Not a half-bad job. Of course it is excellent. Because this mask was crafted none other by the great, the eminent, the barber himself, whose name I dare not even speak. But it hurts so much. No, I'm smiling. Look how hard I'm smiling and laughing. Yes, I am the prince. That is what I am. He's a bloody loon, isn't it? Alright, done with the giggles then. Get ready for the beating of your life. I enjoy things like you and your friends. Don't cry, bawling and bowing and sniveling on the ground for your lives. I just noticed that his cane has a face.
Checks out.
Lunge at me instead, hmm? The aggression, the boiling blood. Oh, how I love the fire. What are you, daft? Look around, there's 13 of us and one of you. Do not let your guard down, Heathcliff. This entity has managed to turn countless passengers into blood bags. I didn't let my guard down, but we blasted through so many blood bags we couldn't keep count, didn't we? Couldn't even keep count, oh no. But the count is so important. I have to keep count of your visitors. Oh, yes, of course. I do remember to keep count of our dearest visitors. Yes, sir, I do. You have no idea how powerful I am, and I shall not relinquish my throne to thee from this budding kingdom. All I have to do is sit here and do nothing, and the blood bags present themselves before me. There's no paradise like this out there. You have no idea what I did to create this space. Oh, how elated my forebear kindred would be should they be here to witness what I have created. This cornucopia of abundance, this pleasure, oh, this freedom. But this kingdom is mine. I made it. I am not giving it away. That is curious. It appears that this blood fiend leaves his car only on rare occasions. Yet we have seen signs of his insidious influence through every car we have visited. That's what he meant by how the blood bags present themselves before him has to be. Hold on a minute! A figure suddenly and frantically charged into the car. It was Sasha, the fixer we ran into earlier. Cassetti shrinks into his throne at the sudden burst. Terror appears in his face.
Ah, it is thee! By the... Hast thou truly journeyed here to assist us in our quest? Lo, that villain is the blood fiend responsible for the tragedies that have transpired aboard this train. Help us slay that cur, and eventually lead the passengers thou hast protected thus far out of this train.
Blood fiends? What if there's more than a single blood fiend on board? One still capable of thought? Damn, you actually made it back here? Guess the wings don't give out contracts to just anyone. I've fought to my damnedest too. Well, I was the last one standing. What's she talking about? In the end, I stood alone with nothing but a single one of these forearms left. Kind of funny how the perspective on life can just completely flip when you're ready. Really in the shit. I think my last thoughts were... Man, I don't want to die. So I fell on my knees and pleaded. I told him that... Don, watch out! I'd do anything to live. Blood rapidly crystallized around Sasha like a suit of armor as she swung her greatsword at the Swinners, striking them before even Faust finished her sentence. What? What did I say? I commanded you to give me a warning before jumping in like that. Don't you know how loud your stupid arms are? I thought the family had come for me. I'm sorry, Lord Cassetti. Allow me to introduce my kindred to thee. To be the first of many since my escape, for the kingdom I intend to build. My kindred, my loyal squire, who shall be at my side as I build a dynasty for my own, my family. I had intended to select the more powerful of the bunch to send to this car, as you have commanded, but the humans in my car were all weaklings. So I present for you this group from the first-class car. Kindred. Are you even aware of the exact nature of kindred? Nah, but I can tell you this. When I accepted my lord's blood in my veins, it's as though I was reborn. I see. A kindred to a blood fiend is like a sub-entity, similar to sub-entities created by distortions or abnormalities. It must have been desperation that drove you to accept that proposition without hesitation, despite the lack of that information. Maybe. That's probably what was going through my head before I became a kindred.
Thou hast been in cohorts with this villain all this time, as his underling. Even ere then, when we first laid our eyes upon thee.
Lady, you have no idea how much I freaked out when one of you asked me something about red eyes. Not that it would have mattered that if you did suspect me, though, since my red eye is just a prosthetic.
Then the passengers who were under thy protection.
Haven't I told you that the count matters? The longer the line, the better. Dozens of blood bags began shambling into the room behind Sasha. A smaller one among them stood out to me. My mind immediately snapped to the child who grabbed Don Quixote's coattails. I knew that the passengers were dead the moment we realized Sasha was a blood fiend, but this... I really hoped I wouldn't have to face this reality. Not like this.
There was a child.
Yep. Little Roy wanted to be a fixer if she got to grow up. Good thing she won't, though. I can tell you on good authority that living as a blood bag is way better than the drudgery that is the life of a fixer. Believe me, I know.
Hold thy vile tongue. Sorry,
Dreaming of becoming a respected, famous fixer and an actor of justice? It's all a stupid pipe dream that always ends in crushing disappointment. Or a really early grave.
Silence! Silence!
Don Quixote did not give Sasha time to finish her sentence. She was already charging full speed at her with her lance drawn.
먼저 끝내고 돌아오는 친구는
I wonder if they're gonna have the balls
Balls for what?
to show the kid as a blood bag.
Hmm. Don't think so.
I was going to rip thee a new one!
I mean, she does have rip space.
출력 최대치. 처리했습니다. 승객이 딱콩 한 번.
Thanks for the follows, Supreme Dumbass. Interesting name.
It would appear it was myself who has been ripped.
Unique kind
Yeah,
of,
it's a unique kind of evil to eat a child.
it is a vampire.
Uh-huh.
나이스! 하나 제꼈다.
Nope, that's a normal one. But they're all also half health.
I mean, they've just been turned.
Ah, I see. No, I shouldn't. Well, that one's 88, so I think Rhea should handle that. But Faust could have a little fun as a treat.
전투에 임하겠습니다.
Wow, Faust didn't kill one. What?
다음은 어디요?
I mean, she didn't have much charge.
She had 10. Oh, those counters are gonna be miserable. I also kind of wish this was a unfocused battle. That way we wouldn't have to meticulously dial in every attack.
내가 눈에 새겨주지. 자, 다음은 어디요? 맘.
좋아. 방금은 전략의 승리야. 계속 밀어붙이자.
Oh, what are the other ones doing?
터졌군요.
완벽한 한
What is happening there?
시원한걸? 나이스! 하나 제꼈다.
Sasha. What do we have available? We have, I think just Yi Sang. This song is pretty good though. Whoa.
It do be jamming.
I was wondering how they were gonna top Time Killing Time, but this is also a really good song.
내가 눈에 새겨주지.
Ooh, yeah, I should look at Sasha. This is definitely a better song than the Time Rippers, but I like the vibe of the Time Ripper more.
I wouldn't say this is a better song. It's got a lot of tension.
적중에 정신 못 차리는 녀석이 있네.
Panic Bloodthirst.
처리해 볼까요? 인도적인 조치는 필요 없을 거예요.
If Panic, raise set SP to 0. Coagulated Blood, Thirst for Blood, Power Leakage. Self-inflicted damage to use the skill does not kill the enemy. At less than 5 charge, gain 1 attack power down. At more than 5 charge, gain 2 clash up. Activate Prosthesis, Hard Blood Reflux, Bioenergy Conversion Charge, Hard Boil Transfusion. There's a lot of good names here. Is anybody sitting on a basic skill?
I would say that Time Killing Time is a more, like, impressive piece of music on, like, a technical and creative level as well.
True, not a lot of people do big band music these days.
Big band dubstep.
Right? You can hear the beat drop and everything.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
Oh, Dawn's gonna rip this one open.
전술의 승리네요.
대단한
소란이 줄었네요.
관리자가
But we're
아니라
not done.
지휘관이었던 거 아니야?
Unbelievable. My first kindred to be created without their authorization is this bumbling fool. I pray for your forgiveness. Be gone from my sight. At least thou hast brought me blood bags for sustenance. Yet it must be the responsibility of a parent to clean up the mess of a child. What a load of shit. Man, Ryoshu fucking rules this chapter.
Hell yeah.
With that, Cassidy reached out towards the pile of blood bags and got lunch.
Sure.
Isn't that the same effect that Virgil has?
Kinda.
Oh, what abundance! I had nearly forgotten the sensation. An armor of hardened blood. That's just iron materialized over the Blood Fiend's body. His sheer aggression and hatred was palpable enough to make our skin crawl. It appears he has empowered himself by reaping their blood. Though my power is yet to fully return, this magnificent armor is quite befitting a parade for the prince who hath become a king! Wouldst thou agree? Yes, sir, you would! Of course you do! Challenge me now, O rebels! Challenge thy king!
내 피가 배고파했어.
There's the fight. Stored blood, lose 1 every time this unit uses 5%. On hit, heal 1% of the skills. Oh. Faust doesn't have much charge. Oh, this is interesting. I should look at... So, one here, one here, one here, and then the dilemma of this. Oh wait, one of them is just hit. This is actually kind of awkward. Then it becomes all three at that. Ryoshi gets a dodge. So then it would behoove her to dodge.
공격 범위 확인.
공간을 뭉갠다.
Where did that come from?
무얼 잘못했는지 아는 것부터가 시작이겠어.
오케이. 작전 지역 진입.
How did I apply a rip
네,
space to him?
입감 양호합니다.
The target has 4 bleed clash power. Fighting. Dawn is at 12. Oh boy. What joys await.
전투에 임하겠습니다.
Man, this guy ain't shit. Holy crap. But then again, it is 13 versus 1.
출력 최대치.
유효타 좋아. 계속 집중하지.
오, 머리 좋다 단테. 방금 완전 좋았어.
공간을 뭉갠다.
God. Being able to use charge classes like this is so satisfying.
공격 능력 평가.
Just watching enemies get peeled like a potato.
제대로 꽂혔는데.
Yeah.
I am the Prince of the Parade, unclashable. The bleed mana healed, reset SP of 0, gain 10 stored blood. Does not get staggered this turn, ends turn after using this skill.
So,
We don't get to do anything this turn.
you can do something.
Can I? He's on turn. Well, I guess Don Quixote can?
It's unclashable. What do you do when there's something that's unclashable?
Dodge? Though it's only going to be for some. Because I don't think Otis gets to do that. Man, it even hits Isang. What?
전투에 임하겠습니다.
Cool.
Get dodged, idiot.
기다리는 거 못해.
Well, he did heal a lot.
What do you mean, Shrike?
Ooh, wow.
Oh, yeah, it's intended to, like... It's not intended to do a ton of damage, especially since it's unblockable.
It's a phase change, basically.
I mean, it's 8-4 bleed to everyone. If you don't go full defense, then...
You get mulched.
No, everybody just gets a lot of bleed.
Otis has 2 things coming in on her. Ew.
Shrike, are you mad that I helped him?
I didn't go full defense, didn't get mulched with the boss healed to full. I was thinking about doing defense anyway because it mentioned it couldn't be staggered, so I felt like it would have been like a real waste to do that. What's next turn? Just a regular thing. What do I want to do with Dawn? I can't really do much of anything.
전투에 임하겠습니다.
I like clearing the stream in an expeditious amount of time.
Like chat.
Also, I've seen what happens, and it's not even that bad.
Chat just wants their blood.
Oh, I see, Shrek. You're actually a blood fiend yourself. I see.
This boss is a pushover. I mean,
좋아.
both killing time and this have not really been challenging. But they're meant to be, like, interesting, because this is basically a sample of what we're going to actually be seeing coming forward.
I mean, this guy's a real bastard in Mirror Dungeon.
Yeah, probably because he has, like, several boosts because of the thing.
Yeah.
Well, at least the 10 to everything is down. That would have been miserable.
공격 범위 확인.
Attacking him with a bleed comp would be incredibly funny.
I'm sure Endcorp would do great.
필요 없다.
This guy is the worst vampire ever. I don't know about that. Like, think about all the like newly turned 13th generation in Masquerade. Those guys don't even get superpowers; they just burn in the sun.
큰 거 온다.
While this guy is jobbing to us, we also have the, in-lore benefit of like infinite regeneration. So
more like undo buttons.
Yeah.
Like, we kinda cheat, which was really funny to see the Ripper be like, "Why can't I drain you?" That's still the funniest thing in the world to me.
A time vampire than an actual vampire.
Sunrise, sunset.
이 전투는 승리할 거예요.
And yeah, Sundowner Faust is really good. Like, I thought I had finally gotten away from Faust and, needing to rely on Fluid Sac. And then she makes a better identity that also fuels Fluid Sac.
There you go.
Easy operation. It hurts! It hurts! Yes, I love your boiling human blood, but this is too painful! This guy keeps regenerating no matter how many times we tear him to pieces. Ugh. I don't know if we can... The mental fatigue finally got to Gregor and Sinclair, who collapsed to the ground. The strange environment of warp trains was proving to be a significant help to the Blood Fiend's regenerative ability. This fight's been dragging on even longer than our battles at K-Corp, the border checkpoint, or even Wuthering Heights. I knew the sinners had all grown strong since then, but I feel as though I stood before an impenetrable wall. Don Quixote continues to wildly pummel the Blood Fiend with her lance, breaking, stabbing, and crushing him every time a body part regenerated. I am so hungry.
Ridiculous. Thy hunger is no justification for this massacre thou hast wrought.
Shut up! You don't understand. You don't know how awful it is to survive on that disgusting blood for 200. No, I don't even want to think about it. Shut up. Be quiet. No, I'm sorry. Please, just let me have a sip. Just the smallest sip. Please. It's all useless, no matter how many times you stab me.
I shan't stop until all of thy flesh and bone and organs are crushed into a viscous, shapeless mush, never to become whole again!
Yeah, too bad we have the save state to figure out, but the Blood Fiend's regeneration is powerful. He's regenerating as fast as Don Quixote is destroying him. It's so fast, we can't... Ugh, my kindred, my child! I have given thee new life, invited thee to this banquet. So do thy responsibilities. The blessing of a parent must be repaid, no? What can I do? Find their weakness, break their anger, make them kneel and grovel, just as you had. Wait, I think I got an idea. Sasha began looking around wildly, surprised by Cassetti's sudden command. It's that the way they fight reminds me a lot of the way we prosthetic fixers fight. Just as prosthetics slowly lose their sense of self-preservation, limbs becoming no important than tools to be replaced. These idiots act with such abandon as if they have multiple lives to burn through. With nothing to protect, they throw themselves wildly into battle like moths at a flame. And forget to look at what's really important. Like this little thing. With one of her remaining arms, Sasha picked up the MasterCard that Faust showed her in the previous cars. Don, stop her now! Oh, my parents, I offer this gift to you.
Yeah!
Don immediately leapt at the fixer, but one of her arms struck away with great force. Ishmael and Marceau, who had been holding Cassetti down, were no match for his strength without Don's fury. The Blood Fiend threw both of them to the side and grabbed the keycard. This is the key to first class, my lord. With this, your army grows, to bring glory to the kingdom. No. Cassetti examines the master keycard with clear interest. Without the keycard, we'll be trapped inside this train for thousands of years until it reaches its destination. Dante, I believe myself to be trying my utmost to overcome this adversity. Without access to Faust's knowledge and intelligence. However, with our loss of the master keycard, this has become greatly exacerbated. At the origin of this obstacle, Faust took a deep breath as though she was about to take a deep dive into the source of all this trouble. Must be my over-reliance on Faust. From what I can tell, Faust has always been operating based on information she received from Faust. So a situation like this where she has to make a decision on her own has to be unfamiliar to her. But Faust is an admirable sinner with or without Faust. I've been thinking the same thing about myself, actually. I've been relying too much on the perfect Faust. But even without Faust, you still gave us good directions to follow after analyzing the information we brought you. Maybe uncertainty itself doesn't always have to be a problem for us. Remember? Thus the lack of a plan itself becomes the plan? You said it yourself. I see. Indeed, among many, I am a Faust that believes in uncertainty. Our loss of the Master Keycard is one of innumerable uncertain variables in this equation. The constant is, however, that the Blood Fiend is just as desperate as we are. Thus the only option that remains at present is to compromise. You there. Looks like thou art the one that's been regenerating your friends. Stop doing that, alright? don't heal a single one of them, or I'll smash your precious key to pieces. Oh wow, you're stupid.
Manager, Esquire. Compromise? To compromise with a villain as vile as that cur.
I didn't have the time to regenerate Don Quixote's severe injuries just yet, and the rest of the sinners were already unconscious. The only sinner that could still move and talk normally was Faust, who I just rewound the clock for. Yeah. Let's do that. Very well. Then, Cassetti, why don't we move this conversation to a different location? Only I will accompany Dante to this negotiation. I will make my intentions clear now. Dante and I will not attack you there. There's no doubt in my mind that Cassetti must be absolutely exhausted by the unending barrage of attacks from Don Quixote and the Sinners. Faust suggesting that we move this conversation to a different place so that the Sinners must have been a sweet one. Just you two, huh? Yes, the freight car is immediately adjacent to this one. That is where we will further discuss what we have to offer to one another. That clock must truly be the monarch, then, And thou art one of the retainers? Correct. Very well. This will be a royal debate, then. It is only right that royalty talks to no one but one who is equal.
Manager, Esquire.
We'll be back in a minute, Don. Just throw him in Mephistopheles, fuck it. Thus we left the incapacitated sinners and Don Quixote, who watched on with hollow, despondent eyes as we walked away. We carefully made our way into the freight car. This is a similar situation with Ishmael in Chapter 2. So, Faust, what are we doing here again? Dante, this will be my first attempt at a gamble. What? With that, the door closed behind us.
이게 바로 소위 말하는 엘리트? 나 승진시켜주시오, 관리자나리!
I've been hanging out with Rhodia recently, and I've taken to liking this gambling thing. I think it's really fun. Has it really been 29 events, or is it counting a time-killing time as well? So this leads straight into Mephistopheles. This is where it all started. This stupid bus awoke me from my slumber. If only this bus hadn't completely filled up the freight car. I wasn't planning to start the parade so soon, or create a kindred. Dante? The connection has been restored. Connection? The suddenness of her statement briefly knocked off my train of thought. I looked at her and cocked my head in confusion, and she replied with an even quieter whisper. Boarding Mephistopheles has reestablished my connection with Faust. Giving Dante the cash register noise was like a move of genius.
Ka-ching.
Did you know this would work? No. And as I have stated before, this is pure incalculable gamble based on my own certain hypothesis. This success helps me somewhat comprehend Miss Rhodia's fascination with gambling. I was joking when I made that. A faint smile appeared on Faust's lips for a moment before fading away. Now that the connection has been re-established, I would like to make a complaint against the Gesellschaft management regarding the fact that they neglected to list the information pertaining to the loss of connection within warp trains. However, finding a solution to this takes precedence. I have much reason to believe that their omission was done on purpose, but I hope that is not the case. Faust gently advanced towards the Blood Fiend. Let us discuss the details of our compromise. What are you willing to accept in return for the Master Key card? If thou wert just anyone, I would have wished to turn all of thee into blood bags and drink every last drop of thy blood. But thou art unlike a common person. My wish is to maintain the secrecy of this kingdom of mine for as long as possible. And thine wish is to leave, right? Once I relinquish to thee this keycard, and once thou returns to your first-class seats, we'll live here happily ever after like nothing happened. And when the train gets here, you get off the train. Everything goes back to the way they were supposed to be. How's that for a deal? Like nothing happened. Faust, what about the job we were contracted to do? Our memories and these signs of battle will be entirely erased upon our arrival. We'll have no way to relay our news, whether one of success or failure. If we had the means to defeat him, then at least W Corp would inform us that our contract was successful. However, this current scenario will leave us with nothing to show for, not even the smallest hint, and the contract will end in failure. However, what takes precedence over the contract is you and the sinner's psychological stability. It's not like we've always been successful, so that's something I can live with, but what about the other passengers on the train, and its future passengers? I remember the look on Don's face whenever we'd come across the inevitable forms of injustice. Faust did not reply. Yet the lack of a reply was one of its own. We're gonna have to let them die? Innocent lives will be lost, but we cannot prioritize their lives over our safety. That must be Faust and the company's policy. And yet...
I shan't allow this.
Done? I thought her words were too severe for her to... Her wounds were too severe for her to even crawl, let alone walk. But with sheer will, she pushed herself through the pain to reach the freight car.
I will not tolerate this. We cannot let this vile wretch live and turn a blind eye to everything he's done.
It's her again! What? You want to stay here for what is essentially an eternity with this train? I know the truth. Everything hinges on this key, doesn't it? As soon as I break this in half, you'll have to spend eons inside this.
I cannot. I would welcome the eons should it mean eons of penance for thee. 'Tis much preferable to letting thy villainy go unanswered. Let this place be the site of thine eternal judgment.
Faust and I grabbed Don Quixote. She's normally strong enough to wriggle free of our grips, but she already pushed herself beyond the limits by walking here.
Faust, unhand me! Thou mustn't let him live, Monsieur Esquire!
Don, letting him destroy that key means you'll be condemning the sinners to thousands of years of torment.
Then I should fill the millennia with tales of legend I had read in magazines. No time, however infinite, shall be too great to overcome should we endeavor as one.
Certainly you are aware that your suggestion is no solution at all.
Then there has to be another way, no? Thou art both possessors of great wisdom. Faust, Manager Esquire, is there truly no path in which we may bring justice to the villain, and the sinners remain unharmed?
Her struggling begins to wane, but this was no acceptance. This was dejection. Wait, no! In the commotion, we failed to notice that the Blood Fiend had been quietly advancing at us. We let Don Quixote go at the last second, but we were a second too late. Oh, my dearest parent, forgive my transgression of creating another without thy sanction. Thou shalt become the second kindred to me. Cassetti screams incoherently as he leaps onto Don Quixote, piercing her neck with his fangs before we even had a chance to do anything. Oh, I did not expect this to be the solution. Faust? What do you mean the solution? According to this information I'd viewed in the past, and once against just now, it's... Dante, take cover behind me and remain absolutely still. And please, do note that the other sinners must never hear a word about what is about to happen.
Oh.
Don Quixote levitates slightly into the air, and the strings on her shoes began unraveling as they slip off her feet on her own. She looks on with bewilderment as her running shoes fall to the floor, and...
Ah! Roshinante!
I've always had this question swirling around at the unfocused backstage of my mind. Why are you always protective of those shoes?
Running shoes? Ah. Dost thou speak of our dear Roshinante?
Yeah. Those.
I have battled through thick and thin, feast and famine with dear Roshinante. In sorrow, in
Sharo?
sorrow and in joy, no matter
Hello?
the brutality of trials that hath struck me, it hath been a loyal steed by my side for however long it hath been in existence.
She doesn't know when she got them.
Ah, Manager Esquire, wherefore hast thou not saluted Roshinante as well? This may be a rather auspicious occasion to do so.
Oh man, the delusions aren't the fucking dragons in the windmills. It's her shoes. Nah, I think I'm good.
Aha, be not so bashful, go on ahead.
Look, Stinky. Small girl torturing TikTok with Stinky.
Stinky they are not, scuffed as they may appear. Roshinante is in pristine condition. Also, thou shalt not address me as small girl.
Oh yeah, she's taller than her. Evacuate, evacuate. Don, don't tell me you go to sleep wearing those Roshinante.
Oh, I have always been quite certain that someone so esteemed as thee, Manager Esquire, would care to ask me how Roshinante fares.
I didn't mention that this question was inspired by numerous eyewitness reports that other sinners who saw her wandering the halls in her pajamas and wearing Roshinante.
Verily, Roshinante and I remain bound together even in slumber. There shall be no separating the two of us. We are bound not by need nor want. We are simply bound together through plight and delight.
Now that I think about it, every single identity of Don Quixote was also wearing those pair of running shoes, Rocinante. Especially that weird one where she wore the shoes in her greaves. That was weird.
Encore.
Have you ever taken them off?
Take them off? Fie, whatever dost thou mean? As in, detach Roshinante from my body? 'Tis a very odd insinuation thou maketh.
I never read the
Don Quixote?
the Don Quixote books. Does he ever get off the donkey?
I think so.
Okay.
The thing is that they are very long and
Yeah, it's like 700 pages.
very thin pages.
She looks at me with puzzled eyes, as if though taking those pair of running shoes was somehow inconceivable. There's something much more than just her favorite pair of running shoes. Her odd attitude of treating something so far removed from common sense as something so ordinary. The original story, Roshinante was a child. Oh, okay. Was a tired workhorse forced via their master's delusions into being a warhorse and to never leave their master's side. What does Roshinante mean to Don Quixote? What even is that thing? An overwhelmingly powerful pressure suddenly explodes, radiating in all directions, as the metallic stench of blood suffocates the bus, filling every corner of it with its sickening horror. Then darkness. No, that's impossible!
Hey, hi, Wang.
It?
You know what to do.
Oh, fuck. You're gonna do this to me on the fly now?
I just changed it, so you should be able to just move it over.
I don't think I can move it over. I think you could do it locally on your end because I'm on default.
Oh.
I think.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Oh, I see what I did wrong here. Question is, how do I delete this?
I think you can just hide it in OBS.
No, the problem is right now with what I did to you initially, I kind of beefed it. And, put an override on you instead of, like, a separate layer.
Huh.
Which I could probably do...
I think it would be the gear.
I tried the gear, and that'll allow me to edit the override, at least, so I could do that.
Should work.
What the fuck is that? Okay.
You understand why I couldn't do this, right?
I could see...
warn you ahead of time.
Yeah, that was the issue, is that I could see why the gimmick. It's just that my, what I did in the back kind of fucked up the joke here.
Man.
Which is unfortunate, because I remember having that trouble before with,
With the orange Moya Moya?
Yeah, with the FOE. Model default override, let's go... Actually, maybe I'll... See? Oh, wait. Maybe... That? Bam! Done!
There we go.
You are very tiny.
Might need to make me a little bigger. Look, the ears take up a lot of room.
No, there's actually a trick to this. When I saved your file, you have a lot of empty space around it. That's what's affecting the size.
Like I said, the ears take up a lot of room.
What? Oh, I made something bigger that I wasn't supposed to.
Good job. There we go.
In all-absorbing darkness, voices are only light. You are the second kindred! How did you... I should have known your presence! I do think I saw a faint outline of an aura. I see a red aura, and a long fur adornment of sorts. Through the shimmering aura, I think I saw red eyes.
You have committed the sin of filial impiety, transgressor.
I know that voice, but I also don't. I never heard it in such a low, imposing voice before. I wish I could remove the text as well, 'cause feet.
Feet.
It speaks towards the lesser being. The blood fiend, shriveling and kneeling, trembling, pathetic. Mercy, O venerated ancestor. I beg for the mercy of the second kindred. I beg for the mercy!
Insolent worm.
Crimson droplets of blood slowly rise around the blood fiend's mouth before congealing and sealing his mouth shut. As death raids the stream. Hi, what's up?
Hey there.
No language worming its way out of your maw shall be worth my ears. To commit the sin of filial impiety by attempting to travel against the bloodstream, to commit such abomination against your ancestor, I cannot well sanction your impudence of continued existence.
So, wait. That would mean the sneakers were a limiter. 'Cause how the fuck did Virgil beat the shit out of her before?
Coagulate, then melt away.
Cassetti's... Oh. Shit. I need a still of when Virgil beat up Don Quixote in Chapter 2?
I
Chapter
can go
3.
get that for you. It's actually really
No, it goes forward, I think.
No, I think Tiger knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Cause I think this was betrayed so long ago, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know why it was that, because it was reflected through her eyes. So she was still, like, Don Quixote there. It's just that Virgil was so pissed it was reflecting red in her eyes. But
foreshadowing is a literary device.
Cassetti's body began liquefying into a slick stream of blood, his form curdling and crumbling, then dripping to the ground. Rapidly yet ponderously, like that ice cream Don loved so much, melting away on the floor, heated under the searing sun.
You know, I mean, it can be concerning also for the eagle because it's called La Sangre de Sancho, which is the blood of Sancho.
Oh. What was the name of the assistant to Don Quixote?
Sancho.
Sancho.
Oh man, okay. There's a lot to
Sancho.
unpack there.
Sancho is her mighty squire.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sancho
did
is
you know?
the spear.
Yeah, did you know?
I suspected it, but I thought it was just cool looking spear, not actual blood.
No, it is blood. It is a blood spear.
I'm sorry. I can't take this seriously when she's that shorter than me. It's
better
like
learn to take it seriously quite quickly, manager. You.
Don Quixote turned to look at me, who was still on the ground after being thrown by the shockwave. And with a cryptic look of pity, she uttered something.
Indeed, you must be the promised timepiece.
Something I couldn't quite understand.
Roshinante to me,
Roshinante?
I beseech thee.
I
Fascinante.
carefully reached out, grabbed her shoes, and slipped them onto her bare feet one by one. This is... feet!
One day.
She gasped, stumbled, and slumped onto the ground. I can't believe Faust is like, oh shit, right. Hey, manager, get directly behind me, don't tell anything to the sinners, and don't move, and then just got liquefied.
You can change me back to normal now. Unless they'll take forever again.
Now you did it yourself.
I already did.
Yep, it's on the stream as well. But I do have
okay.
I do have to shrink you though.
Indeed.
Uncertainty. Then why is this chapter called Dream Ending?
That's a good question, isn't it?
Sometime later. Can someone explain what just happened? In a way that makes sense. I knew that the sinners would all be shocked and confused. After all, when they, including Faust and Don, all came back to life after rewound the clock, all that remained was the destroyed door to the freight car and that disgusting, obliterated remains of what was once Cassetti.
Yeah, Don just straight up destroyed the door, which, you know, that probably should have been the first clue that something was up, huh?
Oh yeah, huh?
Because how did she get in there?
Most personnel have lost their consciousness from the mental stress of the prolonged battle. Whatever measures it was that the manager has taken, it could be said, it was appropriate. I guess so. Well, good work, everyone! However, the definition of most personnel excludes 3 individuals. Therefore, it would be most appropriate to direct any questions to them. Wait. Who are those 3? Faust, the manager, and Don Quixote, who is still unconscious. Huh, wait, really? The 3 of you? Wow, you were spot on! Why'd you have time to notice that? Oh boy. I have identified the 3 conscious individuals by analyzing their walking cadence and voices moments before my loss of consciousness. Right, so... what's going on with the lass? Why is she still out cold? She appears to be in a state of deep slumber. As she is not at risk of death, she will be waking up soon. I remember everything, of course. Don Quixote's sudden transformation. How she practically erased the blood fiend and his kindred from the world without even moving a finger. But I also remember Faust's last words. Do note that the other sinners must never hear a word about what's about to happen. Don Quixote was unconscious, and Faust was answering every question with silence. It was only natural that their eyes would all fall onto me. That's you know. Wait, that reminds me. Where's the key card? Last I remembered, it was in Cassetti's hands.
Uh-oh.
Who was in a far more presentable state than he was before. Wait, so what about the key card he was holding, sir? It has been half liquefied. The remains have melded with his finger bones. It appears to have been one with the middle flanges. I'll see you later, Beowulf.
Bye.
Wait, oh. Oh no! Everyone calm down, calm down! I said calm down! I really should have packed more cigarettes. Ha! How about we force one of these doors open? The master key card is not an absolutely necessary element of resolving the situation. But how? It will require approximately 5 hours to formulate and proceed with an explanation in a manner that will allow the sinners to fully comprehend the how of this methodology. Therefore, it will be delivered to you in a digestible, summarizing format. Well, that was short-lived. She's acting all smug again. We could utilize the back door of Mephistopheles. The steely confidence in their declaration was more than enough to win us over. So we head to the corridor past the back door, Don Quixote slung like a bag of luggage, and arrived at our destination.
Honk shoe.
I can't not ask what happened after seeing the state you're all in. Sandy pitter, sandy patter. Grains of sand and seashell-like things fill with every step the sinners took. Ask someone after me to exploitate. Grains of sand roll about in my throat with every word spoken. Faust explained the simpler gist of the plan as we made our way to the back door. To put it simply, we will spend the time and space disconnected from the train. The train should be arriving at its destination in approximately 10 seconds. Going by the A-Corp timescale, all we must do is remain somewhere in our original dimension for that duration. And with that, Faust came to a sudden stop in the middle of one of the corridors. Wait, are you seriously gonna just open that door? With this many doors in here, are you sure that's the right one? Yes, this is correct. Its safety is totally assured. Lass, at least tell us what's past the door. I did not bother verifying that one myself. It is necessary for future endeavors that I gain experience of encountering something completely unexpected. What? Wait! Faust did not wait for Heathcliff to finish his sentence before jerking the door wide open. Now please enter through the door. With Faust's stern command, we quickly locked into a building that looked like a derelict, abandoned hospital of sorts. I think we walked into the middle of a sandstorm! But aren't we supposed to be indoors? What is even happening? I can't open my eyes! I got sand in my... Wait, no wait, is this a sandstorm? Aren't we inside a building? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The sinners blurted out colorful series of complaints trying to cover themselves in the blasting sandstorm. But Faust continued to count in that same indifferent rhythm before dragging us out there just as urgently as she had herded us in. So... we managed to return safe and sound to the interiors of the warp as it arrived at P-Corp. Man, Mephistopheles cheats like a bastard.
Gotta love loopholes.
As the train was still getting cleaned up, that is. And with that, our bodies completely covered in sand. I thought we'd never make it! Whoa, are you guys okay? How'd these passengers... We were so happy to be done with the whole ordeal that even W Corp cleanup agents in the middle of cleanup looked downright hospitable. We are employees of Limbus Company. We boarded the warp train at the behest of your employer. Ah, so you're the people that our captain told us about. They really let you keep your memories, huh? Oh, that reminds me. One of the employees here must be sleeping inside that hibernation pod over there. Oh, that, huh? Never seen that in action before. Thanks, let me check. The hidden compartment behind the chair that the cleanup agent crawled into. Inside it was... Huh? There ain't anyone here. Huh? Maybe the wrong pod? This is the correct spot. And the disappearance of the individual who has entered this pod would indicate... I guess these posts aren't all here in the head either. Maybe y'all are mistaken? I doubt that. Yes, we must have suffered a momentary collective hallucination caused by fatigue. Very well then, we will see ourselves out. Faust cut the conversation short before the other sinners began asking too many questions. Now that they became intimately familiar with the meaning of that gesture, I followed her to the outside without another word.
Have we arrived?
Rise and shine, lass. Nap enough yet? I see. I will hear the details on the bus once we travel again. Understood. And any and all relevant reports will be sent to W Corp via LCCA and... Virgilius was already there when we arrived. He was sharing a conversation with Faust about what went down inside the train with a serious expression. I will now leave with Charon and watch them unfasten Mephistopheles from the train. The minute hand of the manager's head seems to be desperately signaling me that they have a lot of burning questions to ask you. Allow me to give you two some space. I was finally able to ask Faust once Virgil left. Why did you do that? Faust's body was quite literally blasted to pieces from the sheer explosive pressure that filled the room the moment Don Quixote's shoes came off. It was as though she knew it was going to happen. Because it was the preferable course of action to having the same explosive demise occur to you instead. I do find it regrettable that you were made to turn the clock despite my knowledge of the high likelihood of my death upon that occurrence. No, I'm not blaming you for that. I just want to know how long you've known that Don Quixote is. That is something I've been aware of since LCB was first established. The same could be said of Virgil. Of course. However, it was by the will of the LCA Superior that this knowledge remained withheld from the manager until the appropriate moment. That was not now. And that appropriate moment was back there. According to my private judgment, yes. Well, as my connection to all communications, including one to Faust, had been severed, I was not in a position to receive the headquarters' authorization on that action. Right. 2 second-generation vampires? Who's the first? Oh.
No, Cassetti was,
Cassetti was 6. But who else has red eyes and commands blood?
Virgilius?
Yeah.
I don't think Virgilius is a blood fiend.
I'm debating that as well, based on what I saw of Leviathan. Though the full truth may remain obscured still, we are once again returned. That was a layered word. We've returned to one of the warp platforms in our own dimension. We've returned to our daily lives of speculating what's next. And the usual Faust, reconnected to Faust, has returned. Faust's reply to Yisang's nebulous wording was with quiet affirmation. Please do not take this query with any greater import than a mere jest. However, do you suppose I shall see her again? Ooh, what a statement.
Yeah.
Shooting his shot.
She
Yeah.
shot a puzzled look at Yisang. In a way, it was quite the pleasant encounter. Was it not? Yisang mused ambiguously before leaving us.
Hmm.
The incident at the warp train was such a chaotic mess that it felt shorter than it really was. I also learned about so many things. But it was too soon to start racking our brains about what kind of nonsense trial we were about to face in P Corp. So I just decided to enjoy this momentary peace.
How do we find ourselves at Pico? Wherefore is my throat so parched?
I'm too tired to explain. Chiquita, you missed up big time on one crazy adventure.
Huh?
Oh, that vibrated the last few grains of sand out of my ears. The sinners look at Don Quixote's bewildered awakening, grinning. There's no way to know what we'll be facing in District 16, where P Corp is located. But we got this. Right? The same faith I saw in the Faust who believes in the uncertainty rises within me too. I looked up to Faust, only to see that Faust is looking at me as well. She nodded at me with her usual, barely noticeable smile, and I gave a light nod back in return. Time to go find ourselves another golden bow.
So, how about that, huh?
Okay, so... She's an Would it be an antediluvian?
Yeah, she's a fucking antediluvian.
We have an antediluvian using the blood of her squire as a weapon, suppressed by fucking Reeboks.
If I had to guess, Don Quixote or the name that I think she actually has, Miguel de Cervantes.
Oh shit!
What?
I did not think of Cervantes.
Yeah. I think she's honestly a step above Elena.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, Elena kind of fumbled due to her powers, didn't she? Don fucking...
Elena was able to take on two different color fixers and live.
오늘도 바쁜 하루였어. 여기저기
But she
돌아다니느라
wasn't
발이
able
불날
to melt a
뻔했구나.
dude by telling him to melt.
아, 내일도
Yeah.
물에 놀러 나가면 좋을 것 같은데.
So Dawn is basically the second kindred as, let's say, so.
She is second only to Cain.
Or Dracula, or Nosferatu, or whatever the fuck.
Mhm.
Well, second generation implies that the first one is Cain.
Yeah. Or whichever in this universe is the original vampire.
Yeah. Wait, hang on a second. Oh, okay, she was the third. I was gonna say, if Don Quixote was Sinner 2, that'd be really funny.
하, 오늘도 바쁜 하루였어.
I should also cash in a little bit. Somebody said look at the intro screen.
It's like nothing ever happened.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, that's good.
I can
So-
actually answer that question, Shrike. Let's go
오늘도
to
바쁘다.
theater. Identity archive. If you notice, she's still like Don Quixote. Cause like you could tell that Ishmael just got off of backpacking, which is basically just off the ocean. I'm guessing Rodion was caught in the middle of like a party.
Gambling or something like that. Ryoshu was
Ryoshu had
doing
literally
Ryoshu things.
She literally just murdered someone. Honglu probably got pulled out of their bed. But Don is not betraying the Don Quixote from One Piece. Because like the moment the still appeared, I'm like, wait a goddamn minute.
Don Quixote do Flamingo.
Yeah, it's just when they took the picture. But the thing is, they take the picture with a prisoner's mock-up, which means once they happen, they pull you aside of whatever you're doing, which means in that moment, Don Quixote was Don Quixote.
I believe Sinclair is still in his uniform.
Yeah, he was probably pulled out of school, like, more than likely.
I already checked the notes. I don't think there's any notes about Blood Fiends yet.
Damn it.
And I don't think Elena ever told us what generation she was. So we don't know exactly what tier Dawn is on.
I'd imagine relatively lower because, like, with a blink of an eye, Dawn mulched, what's-his-fuck, and Faust in the blink of an eye, and then dissolved.
She mulched Faust without even trying.
And then just told someone to dissolve. Elena had to, like, work for what she did. She had to, like, meticulously craft whatever she used.
Yeah.
And even then, like, Elena was able to hold her own against Roland and Angelica, and managed to make a kindred out of the Vermilion Cross, although she had the Reverberation Ensemble's help.
Well, here's the thing. If I remember the scenario, she doesn't fight Roland and Angela. She fights Bina.
No, Roland and Angelica.
Yeah, in the backstory.
Because, like, in the backstory, Roland and Angelica fought Elena.
Oh, that's right! You're right.
Yup. And she lost to them, but she survived and fled.
이야, 시간 한번 더.
That's a big mood right there.
Yeah.
That's me at the office.
There's no child in it.
Meanwhile, Cassetti here. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's a jobber. He took out, like, an entire office that seemed fairly competent, but
I don't think he compared at all to Elena, let alone Don Don.
yeah, from how it sounded like he was being shoved around either by a syndicate like the Thumb, or by either the Thumb or the Middle, because he was talking about the family, or he was being shoved around by higher ranking Blood Fiends.
Also, am I seeing things here? Is that 50 tier 4 tickets?
Yes, it is.
Oh man, this feels like a pittance by comparison. That just blows my mind though. They blew that. They shot that bullet in a fucking side story.
And now we get to wonder what the fuck is gonna happen next.
It also says a lot though, because I'm kind of curious about what entails. Mainly because, well, what entails of the power level of a Blood Fiend. Because, like, let us assume that Dawn is the Antediluvian, like, second only to Cain. What are the shoes doing that allow Virgil to beat the shit out of her?
So my theory is that Miguel de Cervantes wanted that lost innocence back, that for whatever reason, she wanted to be a fixer against all odds, because Blood Fiends are genuinely persecuted, for good reason, but they are persecuted, and a Blood Fiend would never be able to make it as a fixer. She would get fucking murdered. She'd get Van Helsinged.
So she just established the identity of Don Quixote.
Yeah, she attached the identity of Don Quixote, basically split her own personality, and tied it to that pair of shoes. So when she's Don Quixote, she doesn't remember she's a vampire.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And as a consequence, it would seem that she doesn't have that thirst of blood.
Well, it's an interesting thing because a vampire's thirst is more obligate.
But it would seem, according to Faust's explanation at least, that their thirst is emotional rather than physical.
Oh,
because
interesting.
if it was physical, Cassetti and the blood bags would not need
I see.
would not need to feast.
Yeah.
So, since it is an emotional thirst rather than a physical one, if Dawn doesn't remember that she's a vampire, she doesn't have it.
성공적인 비즈니스였지.
Don't mind me, I'm just completing my dailies because I don't really feel like doing them after all that.
쉬운 편이에요.
But the kindred also having that emotional need for blood is also why they're capable of dying on the warp train. So what Cassetti was doing is that he was probably just converting 1 or 2 people to use as blood bags, and just kind of slow burn it to build like his power. Because he did say he didn't intend to do all this time, but he was forced to because the freight compartment was full.
Yeah, I was wondering how Mephistopheles, like, disturbed his plans. Like, I'm just wondering how that happened, because I don't see how it would affect his plans at all outside of, you know, just being a little cramped.
If something like this happened, W Corp probably would have immediately realized it was Blood Fiends.
Hmm. Do I not have enough for a buff? I do not. Ew. Alright, then we'll call it there for the evening.
오늘도 바쁜 하루였어. 여기저기 돌아다니느라 발에 불날 뻔했지.
I hope you enjoyed my voice acting.
I gotta say,
올해도 놀러 나가면 좋을
I
것
didn't think
같은데.
they would top Time Killing Time.
And that
What the fuck is Dream Ending gonna be?
Well, I mean,
Oh,
honestly,
I know what it is.
An idea. Yeah.
They call it Dream Ending because the dream of Cervantes is going to end.
Ooh, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we
That
gotta
seems like
then we have to bolt those shoes to Dawn's feet with like rivets or something.
Well, Cervantes willingly went back into the bag, so
True.
it doesn't seem that she's hostile at the very least.
오늘도
But
바쁜 하루였어.
you know, for plot
여기저기
reasons and
돌아다니느라
like game
발에 불날
balance,
뻔했지 뭐야.
Don is probably
내일도
going to stay
모레도
Don
놀러 나가면 좋을 것
because
같은데.
having like a fucking like Vergilius tier threat on our team.
As Virgil says, there would be no point if he did everything.
yeah.
I think what I'm wondering, like, LCB has to know.
Yeah.
Like,
And it seems that Don Quixote's shoes came off on their own when her life was in mortal danger, when she witnessed... Well, not even that her life was in mortal danger, because she's plenty content to die. It's that she witnessed, like, Diablerism happening to her, and she was like, alright, motherfucker. Manager Esquire, hast thou seen World of Darkness? Then thou dost know how fucked this guy is.
Manager, have you seen my shoes? Oh. That is interesting, yeah. Like, because of the memory, right? She's still bound to, the pact.
저도 어떤
That's
분이-
right, Don's a hag. Don is the most hag of all.
Oh, I hate this. Faustin, yeah, I like, that's what I was trying to confirm, that's what I was hoping to confirm, is that, like, LCP knows. I wasn't, like, imagining that.
But I imagine they're also pretty thrilled to have, like, you know, the all-powerful fucking Blood Fiend on their payroll.
As Don Quixote, yes.
As Don Quixote.
Actually,
but...
that's a really interesting thing. Like, she activated Devil Trigger willingly, so Cervantes is still asleep, is still conscious there.
And, if you go back and look at the cutscene where Vergilius beats the shit out of her, Vergilius, like, specifically calls back to the deal and then puts emphasis on her name.
Miss Don Quixote, yeah.
Miss Don Quixote.
Yeah, because the implication was always gonna, that everybody had, is that Don Quixote was actually the squire, not this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that Don Quixote was a fake name. and it broke through the delusion at least a little bit, and Don was like, okay, yeah, I'll go along with it.
God, that's another, like, There's so much to unpack there, because, like, for the longest time, I had focused on the emphasis of Miss Don Quixote, like the Miss part, and I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
People have also pointed out now, pretty much every single one of Don's Uptight 3 arts besides Sank has blood on her.
I don't know.
I guess not Sank. Guess not T-Corp, but I think somebody pointed out that Sank Don Quixote has... That's not her Uptight 3.
I guess it does count on the fist.
And Sank Association has red and yellow petals raining from the sky.
Sunk. What do the petals indicate?
She did seem rather indecisive as to whether her favorite color was red or yellow.
Ah. I'm just looking at like other identities.
It also makes Om Nom Don Don a bit more explains a few things, doesn't it?
I'm just like taken aback. Well, that is the interesting thing, is the dream ending, and when they showed off the dream ending, there was a very prominent figure in there. The question then becomes, is that Cain, or is that Don Quixote? Like, originally I thought, is that actually Don Quixote? But now I'm like, now seeing this, I'm like, is that fucking Cain? Is that what this is?
I mean, a Nosferatu ego in Canto 7 would be fun.
Oh yeah.
But I also feel like they probably... I don't know if they would do that, because that would kind of be, like, give the game away to somebody who isn't there yet.
Yeah, honestly. I think it would have to be I think it would have to be ego Nosferatu, kind of like
Like Library Runa.
Yeah. Like how Otis has like the Freyschutz ego and Faust has regret ego.
And the reason why I say I don't think Nosferatu is the progenitor in this universe, and that he's instead an abnormality inspired by stories of blood fiends, is because, one, he actually does have a weakness to water, which we don't know if that's an actual thing for blood fiends, but if they had such an easily exploitable weakness...
I don't think that's the case, because remember that Elena was operating in a fucking sewer back in Ruina?
Yeah. So I do think Nosferatu is an abnormality rather than the progenitor. It's not confirmed.
It is an unknown, but man, the fact
we
that
are
it's on
engaging in idle speculation.
The fact that it's on October is really funny.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Halloween episode.
They couldn't get Christmas with Sinclair, so they're like, we're gonna get fucking Halloween with Don Quixote. Damn it! All right. I think pretty late.